Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening. It's time for another Brawl Stars Championship monthly final. This time around, if you've been checking your calendars, it is August, so I'm going to be joined by Ark, and we're going to go take you through all the action today.
Yeah, it's going to be a really exciting game. No time to waste. First up for the APAC region, it is going to be Jupiter versus SK Miracle, followed by Jupiter versus B-boy, and then SK Miracle versus B-boy.
And then we'll jump over to Europe, Tridd versus CODEMAGIC Purple, and SK Gaming's going to be following up afterwards in that particular round robin.
Yeah, and a lot of changes in the meta. There's a definite trio of brawlers, Tridd, that are very strong this month. But let's look straight away at the points, because two teams had a fantastic month. Both Jupiter and PSG have qualified for the main finals this year.
And that is all of the APAC slots already taken. As you can see, 2 taken, 2 filled. EU, we've got 1 to fill. But across the board, there's still 5 total participants looking for those World Final slots as we go into the end stage, or the end game of our monthly finals.
Yep, as always, there is big money to earn as well. So although PSG and Jupiter have both qualified in the APAC region, SK Miracle will not be going home empty-handed if they can pull off a good win today. But here we see the players as well. For Jupiter, Ponkotsu, Hagego, Milk Ryu, and Tensai, all looking to make that happen for Jupiter.
And that SK Miracle lineup, formerly known as Apto, they got picked up halfway through the season. They got a tall order against Jupiter today, Ark. This team has been on an absolute manic spree. They've been getting these top finishes in all the monthly finals. They've already secured themselves a world final position. So I think that a lot of the Korean teams in particular have been struggling to keep up with the Japanese region since we merged those two together to accommodate China.
It's such a high standard to live up to, and definitely a lot of pressure being felt, no doubt, from the Korean side of things. But, you know, that's what a competition is. You know, you've got to bring the fire, and you've got to say Jupiter have been one of the most consistent teams throughout this entire competition.
Absolutely, and even before them, we were talking about it before in the in a little bit of rehearsals that, you know, Jupiter is a team who nearly went the entire distance at last year's World Finals, only being really beaten out by Tribe. So they had a great performance last year, and they've carried that strength into the new year.
Yeah, this is exactly it, and again, a bit of pressure there to be felt, no doubt, to make sure they're satisfying the fan expectations for the grand final. But SK Miracle today will definitely be looking to give them a run for their money and go away with you know, being able to hold their head high.
Let's take a look at the bans. You were talking about how 3 dominant picks have really rose to the top, Ark, and 2 of them have been taken off the board. That's Surge and Gale being removed, and I believe the last one that was in this conversation is Mr. P.
Yeah, basically, having spoken to the players this week, everyone said Surge, Gale, and Mr. P are the top 3 most dominating brawlers in terms of the meta. Going straight in then to Gem Grab for set 1, Hard Rock Mine, a classic Gem Grab map up first then.
And we're going to be seeing what these brawlers are going to be rolling out with. Looking at some of the changes that came in from last month in particular, we had some new gadgets unlocked as well. Bo's got his remote detonation now. I wonder if we'll see that today. We saw a lot of Bo play, particularly around his other gadget, Super Totem. So I wonder if we're going to have anything else come into this.
Yeah, new gadgets for me is something that I'm really excited for, and Tripwire definitely seems like a star power, a gadget rather, to me that feels really exciting to see how that's going to shape up Bo in particular. We're going to see some Piper straight off the bat, which could cause Ponkotsu some issues there, and already a good snipe there for the early takedown, running that true silver skin as well. You love to see it, Tridd.
Yeah, it's just showing off at this point, isn't it, Ulysses? He's already got the kill, he has the skin. It's going to get rid of some of that cover to make it easier to land these shots onto the rest of the team. But Milk Ryu takes the initiative and moves forward to try and get an aggressive hold. But already having the back away, 628 HP, he's going to need to heal that one up.
Yeah, one thing I've just noticed as well, that Wu Hayek is running the Handle with Care star power, so not Revolving Door, and Revolving Door has been actually on for both teams, so an interesting shift in the meta perhaps, because Revolving Door has been the favoured star power, I think it's fair to say, for the majority of this tournament so far since it was introduced and reworked into the game.
And this composition from Jupiter is actually struggling. They are getting gems and they are getting territorial control, but they just keep falling like flies to the pressure of SK Miracle. Wu Hyuk's been able to get so many kills on the right-hand side, and Ulysses is exactly the same. Ponkotsu, he wasn't so tanky and didn't have those perpetual heals coming out from his super. I'd be concerned that you wouldn't be able to retain these gems, but now he's under a lot of pressure. That's the first time he's had to back away from a gem because of damage, and Lil Giant going in to try and deal damage. He's going to get punished for this one by Hagego, and he's still going to keep up with the 7-6 scoreline.
Yeah, a very, very aggressive Carl push there, and actually did drop the gem to give Ponkotsu 7, tying things up then as we go down to the wire here for a countdown, and both teams are looking for it, but I really do like those aggressive Carl plays that we're seeing from Lil Giant early on.
One thing to note as well, Ark, is if one team gets to the countdown 10, the game is not revealed. Oh my god, they're taken out of the backline. SK Miracle! They've just been absolutely demolished by Jupiter. How did they get that kill in?
Yeah, team wipe straight away, and no messing about for Jupiter. A pretty quick turnaround, a bit of a drop of the ball then from SK Miracle, who are now so much on the back that I can't see them doing anything about this. And yeah, game one goes to Jupiter.
Okay, so even down to the wire, and then suddenly just Jupiter just explode forward, get control, and seal up the game. What I was going to say before I was so rudely interrupted by those kills, Ark, was that because it was so even, if someone just got to 10 gems, it wouldn't really matter that much. The game wasn't guaranteed win. They weren't going to go super defensive because the spawner could have caught up the difference in that 15-second cooldown anyway. So they would have still been fighting even if one of them hit 10.
Yeah, absolutely. SK Miracle, I think, for me, just dropped the ball a little bit. And it's a shame because they were actually doing really, really well until that point in time and putting some good pressure, some really aggressive plays. And yeah, but that's gem grab and Brawl Stars for you in general, that it can just turn like that.
Yeah, incredibly quickly turned around. We're getting ready to jump into our second round of gem grab on Hard Rock Mine. And I feel as though Jupiter kind of got a lucky break there at the end. I don't think it would have been as decisive if SK Miracle hadn't made that mistake. So it does lead me to believe we might see some compositional changes in the next round.
Yeah, I think it's definitely wise to consider it. I mean, you know, gotta say, I do like a bit of Rosa on this map. It's a very good aggressive standpoint.
When don't you want Rosa on the map? I feel like Rosa is the hero that you always say, I want to see more Rosa.
We haven't seen actually too much of her in the meta recently. There's definitely been others sort of, you know, paving the way at the moment. But Rosa is just one of those brawlers where if she gets him to position, has her super, it's very difficult to clear her out of that kind of spawn trapped position. So yeah, I think definitely some ideas there on the cards, potential to switch things up just a little bit.
Having a look as we're jumping into our second game, see if I can catch if there's any adaptations. And looks like Jupiter are going to stay on exactly the same thing. SK Miracle, they are also going to stay on similar, but they're going to switch over and bring the Max in instead of the Carl.
Yeah, which is, I think, smart because Hagege was running it last game anyway, and Max is in a pretty good place, but already that takedown, very quick takedown on the right-hand side is going to allow Woohyuk to push up into the mid here and put a lot of pressure on. Oh, but Guerrero goes down there as well, so a great start for SK Miracle.
Yeah, they're getting the kills, but they're not converting them into gems, really. Ark, Ponkotsu's sitting on 3 at the moment. Lil Giant will walk forward, take a lot of aggression, has to burn the super to get out, and not finding max value on destroying the territory with the ability.
Yeah, Lil Giant as well. They're putting some shots out to prevent him from healing, and as a result, under a lot of pressure. And SK Miracle, 150 HP there, just surviving on. SK Miracle are very putting themselves into a very aggressive position here, and it might backfire again, as we saw in that previous game if they're not careful.
Yeah, but one of the things that's going to be a problem for Jupiter right now is that you've got your Max being your gem carrier. That is not good. Yeah, you can escape, but you want Max to be up in the face of the opponents, and it's a risk you might not be prepared to take. Has to dash away. Look at that, immediately taken down. So they're going to have their prayers answered. Lil Giant goes in, tries to scoop up as many as he can, only finding a couple before having to leave, because otherwise he would have just lost all the gems to Ponkotsu.
So many interactions there, and it does seem like quite a daring kind of game here right now. Both teams are putting themselves out on the line here and making a lot of risks, but at the moment, in terms of gems, it's pretty much tied. Actually, just SK Miracle taking the lead there with 2, but anything can still change at this point in time with both teams really kind of going at it here, Tridd.
Yeah, if Lil Giant didn't need this super to stay alive, in case of pressure, he would be destroying the blocks on the left-hand side, because that's the only thing that's allowing anyone to move forward right now. Look how much pressure Ponkotsu is under, and Milk Rayo. Ulysses is going to go on the hunt for this one, I think, and try and take out Hagego. Freed up for Ponkotsu, but they're safely getting behind cover and avoiding the damage as we move closer towards the countdown.
Yeah, but I do like this from Woohyuk on the right-hand side. They're placing down some pressure, getting SK Miracle onto that all-important countdown, but there can be gems that can spawn from the center, and Jupiter will be able to stop this. Actually, no, a snipe there just took down, and then that's actually going to draw in gems. Jupiter might even get a countdown here if they're lucky.
Yeah, but the countdown's just going to get cancelled out. This is what I was talking about in the last round, Ark, is that they're so close that it's not a decisive victory. You have to get one of these kills on the gem carriers. Ponkotsu's going to deny it. But look, the countdown will start again. There's enough time for Ponkotsu to go ahead and get 2 more gems. They need to hold mid control, otherwise this game is not going to end.
Yeah, Jupiter actually doing a great job putting down some defensive turrets there as well for body blocking, and the Mr. P portals are going to definitely be very relevant here, and some gadget pops potentially from it. The gadget pop does put even more pressure on that left-hand side lane, and down goes the
Oh!
SK Miracle and Hagego will go in.
It's over.
Like 7 of them.
He goes in, he does the cleanup duty, he denies the recontest, and now the gem spawner's not going to catch up the gap with 5 seconds remaining. And you can't get Hagego, you can't get Ponkotsu. Jupiter are just going to take map number 1.
Yeah, set 1 then to Jupiter, and that again, that continued pressure eventually got the better of SK Miracle in gem grab. So I'll have to wait and see how the next game mode will fare in terms of whether they'll be able to sort of have a better turnaround in that respect.
Yeah, we'll be finding out what our next map is shortly after these replays. And one of the things that was really strong about this, particularly about this map, was just it was a war of attrition. It wasn't a bang, it was more like a fizzle. They were just slowly eroding away at each other. But time after time, Nilcreo was finding these crucial picks onto the backline, onto the gem carrier, and opening it up for Jupiter. Look at the damage and the kills in favor of SK Miracle. They had everything they needed. It was just that those 2 instances where Lil Giant was getting caught out on the Piper and killed off, it just cost them both rounds. These were both incredibly winnable rounds for SK Miracle.
Yeah, and actually, you know, Piper versus Pan mid, you know, does favor Piper, especially with some of the new gadgets that we've seen introduced with Piper in particular, and you know, having some very, very good star powers. You know, having that range advantage can go a really long way. But we might even see it again, actually, going to Factory Rush. It's a very open siege map, so I would absolutely expect to see some homemade recipe gadgets for Piper popping out on this particular map coming up next.
Well, yeah, we're going into Factory Rush shortly. We've got 15 seconds left on the time before we do that. Players need a little bit of time to reconvene. So if we see similar, I don't know if we'll see similar composition moving into Factory Rush, but it is definitely similar style. You know, we could be looking at some very beefy siege bots towards the end of this game if they're going to keep up to date with the objectives like they did in the previous map.
Yeah, absolutely, and Jupiter have already displayed that they can kind of like maintain a position and control already, so and can do that as a prolonged period of time, whereas SK Miracle couldn't quite really hold on. So how that will affect things going into Siege, we'll just have to wait and see.
Okay, interesting. Now Lil Giant's gone over to the Pound to match Ponkotsu. Ulysses is taking up the Piper role. Lil Giant will go down here, so the bolt's going in favor of SK Miracle because Woohyuk's happy to just get in there and get out to make sure they have the lead. So they'll get the level 2 siege bot to kick things off. Very minimal in terms of damage. Let's see if they can convert it into pressure and map control.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting as well to see how Mr. P fares in terms of defense. Obviously, you can place down that turret with the porters to distract the siege bots, but it's definitely some challenging brawlers in terms of defense. Mr. P, Piper, very difficult to do and kind of have a solid defense if you're really, really under pressure.
Let's see if they can keep the contest going on. Hagego will need to move around the back, get himself in there with the super, gets in, gets out, unable to grab the box. Little Giant's already there to cap it. They're going to be moving forward, still with the bolt lead, 10 seconds remaining. SK Miracle are really pulling ahead with this one for now. It's on Jupiter to try and turn it around.
Well, 7 bolts now in the bag. It's going to be a pretty gnarly defense for Jupiter, and SK Miracle actually looking pretty solid out the gates. They've already broken that defensive wall of brick there as well with the Piper Super. So actually, this could be quite an awkward position for Jupiter to be able to defend here. There's a lot of damage going down here.
Oh, look at that. They're getting them close to 50%. So great lead for SK Miracle. Bolt lead now in favor of Jupiter, so they have to stay on top of this one. They don't get a chance in the last siege. They're not going to be able to manually deal that damage, so they have to win this next siege war.
Yeah, the pressure now really is on. Jupiter need a push here, and they need to get at least, was it like 47% damage from that push?
47% is what they'll need, Ark. Quick maths.
Yeah, absolutely. And now look at this on the right-hand side lane. Gego and Ponkotsu really fighting for this vault. They really want every single one to count. It's going to be a level 8. They probably wanted the level 10, but they're going to have to make do with this and make it count.
Right, they're going to throw in a lot of bodies to the siege bot early to slow it down. The respawns will come in time. The Ike's already dealing damage. 47% is the magic number if you are Jupiter. That's how much you need to deal. They're so close to doing it. The siege bot's been taken out. Oh, they need to do 3 more percent. They might be able to get away with this one. They've done it! They've done enough! They did it manually! 1% difference! And Jupiter will walk away with the first round.
My goodness me, it was actually the handle with Care's star power, which I was actually putting down at the beginning of this stream, as Revolving Door has been the more favored one in terms of the pro scene, but handle with Care coming in clutch there, getting that final suitcase to connect, made all the difference for Jupiter.
Incredible that they were able to pull that one off. Like I said, 1% difference is so marginal. I was really concerned. They were still at about 70% HP when the siege bot went down, so I was like, how are they going to do this one?
It was challenging because they hadn't broken that brick wall that defends the siege Ike. That was the thing which SK Miracle had done in their previous pushes, but Jupiter, having had no push, were not really in a position to be able to direct the siege bot directly to the Ike, and it had to therefore, as a result, take a bit of a diversion which delayed the timer effectively.
Well, we're looking to move on to our next attempt at siege bot. At siege at any attempt. I don't think we'll necessarily see adaptations going in, because yet again, it's a very strong start for SK Miracle, just dropping the ball at the last hurdle.
It does seem to be the story that's kind of occurring today a bit more than SK Miracle would like. It's like they're doing great, they're doing fantastic, but they always seem to not maintain that until the end of the game, and that's the whole point, really. You've got to maintain it, and Jupiter doing a fantastic job under all this pressure to actually turn it around at the last minutes.
So we'll see if we'll have any adaptations coming into the compositions. I doubt it. It seems like we might just have Jupiter playing the same comp for the entire day at this rate. To be honest, they have that luxury. They're already through to the World Finals. They could hard tank this if they didn't care about the prize money.
Yeah,
I doubt they will, though. Prize money is quite important to these guys, and also a little bit of pride as well. You want people worrying about you heading into the World Finals as we get ready for game number 2. No changes from Jupiter, and we'll have a check on SK Miracle in a second.
Yeah, with the bans being, just in case you're just joining the stream right now, Mr. P is in play. It's Gale and Surge, which are the bans. So it makes Max and Mr. P very, very viable in the situation, being two other brawlers that are very strong in the meta, which is why we're probably going to see them in most of these game modes, I would say. But actually, straight off the bat, SK Miracle getting a really, really solid round 2, level 2 siege bot coming in, and 2 bolts, actually 3 now in the bank for the next round. The push will actually, though, be from Jupiter. This a bit of a...
Yeah, Jupiter got away with the first siege bot, and as expected, not really going to do anything from the damage perspective. She's going to give them a lot of pressure in the mid. Piper going to commit her super to get rid of some territories. That's going to make it harder for them to get out of their area now, but it was quite useful to remove the healing station from Ponkotsu.
Yeah, I think it's a really smart play, actually, to use that Piper super as early on as possible before you get kind of spawn trapped. It allows that push back from SK Miracle here to get back into the mid and start to get some bolts banked, but it's a bit more of a closer round now, and we might even see a tie here. Yeah, we could do.
Really close. There's 6 apiece right now. Spawns and mid control definitely in favor. Not getting that last bolt in fast enough, unfortunately, for SK Miracle. So we'll be a tie as we climb up this bolt economy. More of the environment being destroyed. This just empowers Ulysses even more on the Piper.
Yeah, but hitting these great shots as we're seeing here, and now with a bit of a stroke of a turnaround here, SK Miracle are banking bolts very thick and fast, Tridd.
Yeah, look at the lead they've extended for themselves. 16 bolts and counting. There's 20 seconds left. We're going to see that level 20 siege bot without doubt.
Yes, we haven't seen it that often, actually, but we are absolutely going to see a level 20 siege
guaranteed at this point. There is nothing Jupiter can do about this one, and this will be the game for SK Miracle. Unless we see some absolutely obscene and disgusting defense from Jupiter, this is in the bag for SK Miracle.
Can you imagine? Look at that red monster running down the center of the field, and I cannot see anything that Jupiter can do, but they're going to try. Let's see what they can make happen.
Bless their cotton socks, Ark, but there's nothing they can do about that one. It is wailing on the Ike, and they're going to clean it up. The game was over as soon as they hit 20, my friend. SK Miracle take their first round of the series.
There you have it. So SK Miracle getting some momentum, getting themselves on the board and tying things up then in Siege. And this is going to go down to the third and final game then.
Yeah, third and final game of Siege. And it was absolutely fantastic for SK Miracle. They were able to get mid control off the back. Despite losing the first Siege to a level 2 Siege bot, they were able to wrestle back control of mid, as you already highlighted. Great recontest potential there by dropping the Piper Supers to clear out the terrain, not letting themselves get boxed into their spawn, and then they fanned out and just gathered those bolts, built up an economy, and became insurmountable.
Yeah, and for me as well, the star power usage of Snappy sniping there, working out so well. Having that ability to continuously rain down shots as Piper on this map is fantastic. You don't need those bushes to use ambush to get that additional damage. You just need consistency and pressure, and that is what we saw from SK Miracle there. Just kind of able to assert themselves back into the middle to dominate that control is a very hard thing to do when you've been recovering from a push. So got to give trumps to SK Miracle on that side, on that last game for sure.
Yeah, definitely not out of this series yet as we're gearing up for our third round. I don't think we're going to see any composition changes. I think both teams are very happy with what they're playing right now, so expect to round out at least the set with this comp. I think maybe when we move further down the line, something like Brawl Ball, we might see a different flavor coming out, but for now they're quite content with what they're playing.
Yeah, maybe some tankier brawlers and something more close range, but definitely today the story between these two teams is range, and the max being such a key component to that as well, to provide that additional speed element to sort of make it harder to land those shots effectively. Definitely a great combination in something like Siege, where you can kind of like zoom into those positions to get a bit of a stronghold when it comes to getting around back into your favor. So yeah, for me, I like the comps. I don't see any changes coming up in this next game.
Yeah, I think they're going to stay exactly the same, and that they are. Pam. Oh wait, hang on a minute. Milcreo's changed up. He's moving over to the Carl.
Of course he is, Tridd. Everything I ever say will always change.
Cursed it.
When it goes down to it. Yeah, here we go out with the Carl pick. Yeah, for sure, on the right-hand side.
So they've swapped out the Mr. P in favor of the Carl. There's no Mr. P present whatsoever. They're just going to trade back and forth as it is, but I think Carl's going to give them some more staying power in the mid.
It's an interesting switch, and for me, I think Mr. P here does provide a great value here. So, okay, I mean, well, both teams having steered away from it is going to make it a bit more even, but let's see what happens here as potentially the Piper will break the mid here. It's a pretty good push early on for SK Miracle to obtain.
Yeah, Piper's going to go in. You can see it there. Super, already obtained. So that was the objective they wanted. They didn't care about the Ike health. They wanted to break down the terrain and have a good enough distraction to give Ulysses the confidence to go in there and use that critical super.
Yeah, exactly that. And still, I think this, I do favor the SK Miracle comp. Piper is a great pick. It's just about getting shots to land. And there we see again that great new gadget there. Homemade recipe coming in clutch, and it's definitely making a big difference in those moments where you're under pressure and you need to land those shots to get that control. But still, though, a level 6 coming in, and actually this could go in SK Miracle's favor if they get a good defense. They've got 7 bolts in the bank for the next round. So
yeah, their economy's in a good spot, and they've dealt with this spot quite handily. Still, 0 damage dealt to the Ikes. They've given up control, and I wonder where Ulysses is. Is he in a position to clear out this healing station from Ponkotsu? I hope he's able to, because otherwise it's going to give him a lot of sticking power to get boxed in. But you can see Ulysses walking forward. There you go, super being traded. That should make it easy to give an advantage. But Little Giant's going to go down. Milcreo as well. While this has been going on, Ark, they've not been contesting mid, so that bolt lead they've had has completely been eroded for this last siege.
Yeah, it's completely gone now, and Jupiter have full mid control. The Piper jump back actually went behind the wall, which meant a lot of time to come back around, to come back and contest the mid. And by which point it is already over for me. Level 11 siege bot coming in for Jupiter, and not really much that they're going to have to do to be able to get the win here.
Well, yeah, they just need to deal a single tick of damage to that Ike, and they're going to win. And there you go. It's guaranteed Jupiter will be walking away with this set. as we look towards set number 3. They are getting closer and closer to match point, and there is nothing that SK Miracle can do about that.
Wow, Jupiter really bringing the fire, and as we said earlier, did have a great qualifier against SK Miracle and have been putting continuous pressure on them throughout this tournament. And today it seems so far not too much different. SK Miracle having a good day, but they're just not finalizing it when it matters, and that is costing them today so far.
Yeah, they're running the London Marathon arc, but they're giving up at the 25th mile. They're not able to finally get over the finish line, unfortunately. Taking a look at the damage stats, yet again, it's very consistent with what we saw in Gem Grab. SK Miracle, more kills, more damage, just unable to get the lead when it counts. They even had more bolts as well, but when you think about it, you split that up over the 3 maps, and it's all about the differences rather than the total. But still, stats-wise, this team is performing well, but they're not able to actually convert. Bounty could be our final stop. Heatwave is our map of choice for today.
Yeah, I mean, absolutely right, Tridd. We have seen that SK Miracle have had more damage in general across the game mode. So, this is actually the game mode where damage, it does get taken more into account other than the objective. So, actually, this could be the perfect round for SK Miracle to start to bring this back. And they are getting kills, they are getting damage. So, but now they've got the additional pressure of being behind, and that is the one thing that I can see that Jupiter have been able to place upon them going into this this third round.
We're going to jump into it straight away, Ark. This is round number 3, having a look, and finally with some compositional changes coming out. Mr. P, Gene, and Brock for side of Jupiter, and the Sprout making an appearance from Lil Giant.
Yeah, I like these brawlers all around, actually. All of these brawlers are pretty viable on this particular map. So, yeah, Sprout a bit more under control now, but as again, we see there that the photosynthesis star power is definitely still being favored. But handled with care, it seems it's been a bit of a shift for Mr. P today, as I think both teams still playing that star power. Yeah, handled with care, definitely still very much being played. But yeah, good brawler picks all around.
But Ulysses picking up that first kill. He's able to just absolutely demolish Gene on the left-hand side. And Higego struggling to get his super online right now. If he can get that active, then maybe we can find some quick kills to equalize, because at the time, he's just being kept at bay by the persistent range of Ulysses, who's now got that Rocket Rain online for the next engagement.
Yeah, I do like that lane in favor, I think, there of SK Miracle on that left-hand side for sure. I think that Higego's going to really struggle with that, especially now that the super is there. And I think that'll be definitely a chance for Ulysses to be looking to land that right now.
Yeah, they're going to push forward. Ponkotsu and using the super. Great pull onto Ulysses. Has to use the gadgets to get away, but it's not far enough. So they're going to equalize now. 3 stars apiece with 40 seconds on the clock.
Yeah, Ulysses needs to be a bit more assertive with that super and land it earlier. But KO had the super and was looking to pull. I think he was waiting for it to be missed effectively before returning fire. But now in the middle, Ponkotsu under fire, but only one really connects, and he's going to be safe and sound there. 5 stars still in favor of Jupiter. So if anything doesn't change now, it's going to be the first round to Jupiter. But the pressure now on as they get pushed back into the spawn. Can SK Miracle get just a kill in these final seconds?
They need to be so careful, Ark. Higego has the pull online. He can punish Woohyok, and he's going to go for it and get another kill to extend the lead. This is what I was worried about. Higego nearly goes down, but even if SK Miracle got that kill, they wouldn't have been able to catch up to the Bounty lead. So Jupiter takes the first round.
Match point then for Jupiter. We've barely started today, and they're already on it. SK Miracle, the pressure now must be absolutely just very, very heavily placed onto their shoulders, and they're going to need the reverse sweep now.
Which is a shame, because I don't think the scoreline is reflective of the gameplay necessarily, because we keep talking about the SK Miracle have been playing well. It's just been these very critical mistakes that have been costing them dearly and giving Jupiter the lead. So I gotta say, I'm thoroughly impressed with how SK Miracle have been playing today, because if they just fix these very simple things, they can actually be serious contenders moving forward.
Yeah, I couldn't agree more, actually. They've been playing very well, but it's just these very, very small mistakes, normally towards the end of the games under pressure, where they're just... and that's the thing that is, for me, I think the thing that separates a good team from a great team is that just ability to perform under pressure.
Yeah, absolutely. We're going to go into our next round of Bounty, and no comp changes. Actually, no, there is going to be comp changes. They are getting rid of the Gene. They've brought in the Sprout to assist them on Jupiter. So despite winning, they weren't really comfortable with what they brought out.
Yeah, or just kind of mixing things up and being spontaneous and
oh no!
Yeah, straight away.
The crossfire on Little Giant, he had nowhere to go on that. Like mid, left, and right lanes all focused fire onto Little Giant and absolutely demolished him.
There we go. Then 2 stars to Jupiter, 1 star to SK Miracle to start things off here, and we'll start to see some supers being cycled here. Geiger putting down the wall in the center of the map just to divert Woohyuk to the left then. Little Giant down a little bit.
I think he was looking to try and isolate, but even still, after the super roads, he knows he's going to remove the brush. That makes it a little bit harder for Woohyuk to safely expose himself to deal damage.
Little Giant though has to pop a gadget there just to stay alive. Went down to 1,000 and under pressure had to pop his gadget to get that revitalizing heal there. I think a smart play by him. Milk Ray putting down a super there, and the Brock gadget to jump away will keep things out of harm's way for SK Miracle, but only 1 star separating them. 1 kill. Tridd can turn this around very quickly here.
Absolutely, it's just going to swing it in either direction. Hegego's under fire right now. He gets Little Giant and manages to escape. So that gives the lead over to Jupiter. SK Miracle have 35 seconds to equalize this, or they will be taking their first loss of the monthly final.
Yeah, literally 30 seconds is all it is going to be. Little Giant low again. Another gadget to stay alive there. But now look at Woohyuk. He's pinched in here with his Mr. P and the gadget pop as well. He's able to survive somehow.
Oh, he just walks out of it. He's so close to going down. But how are they going to get this kill? Everyone's playing so safe. Pankotsu seems to be the next target. He gets away with 800 HP. I'm looking towards any supers they can use. That's the target. They want the 4 stars. They jump in, they get it, but can they get out? They can't. Hegego boxes them in. Pankotsu with the respawns, and Jupiter will walk away with our first series of the day.
Wow, Jupiter absolutely on fire. Only dropping that 1 game of Siege so far today, but SK Miracle just were not able to just keep it together long enough to get a single set in the bag, and fantastic performance so far. I'm really looking forward to seeing whether Jupiter can continue that into the rest of today. And there we go, 20 stars to 8. A pretty dominating performance from Jupiter there, Tridd.
Yeah, only 2 kills from SK Miracle across both of the bounty maps. It's not looking good. A lot of their stars were coming from the default ones, but that's all from us for now, Ark. Let's go over to Falcone to take us through to the next series.
Well, what a game to start the weekend, everyone, with Jupiter, who have already qualified for the global finals, annihilating the opposition, really going to show what it is that they've got and how they were able to qualify. Pankotsu is our MVP for the first match of the weekend. And oh my goodness, wham bam, here comes Pam indeed. The first couple of sets in this match, Pankotsu just laid waste to the opposition. Just being stable with Pam, staying in the center of the map, collecting those gems, cleaning up, vacuuming all of the gems up. After his opponents were able to get those eliminations, you can see here, Pam just staying alive, keeping that health unit in the center. In Siege, doing very much the same thing, staying alive as much as possible before eventually switching to Bounty and using Mr. P so beautifully, dodging suitcases from the enemy Mr. P while taking him out. It was an incredibly win for this team. Jupiter now have their first win on the board. SK have a loss, but now we're going to be looking at B-boy for the next couple of matches. How are they going to do against Jupiter? And more importantly, how are they going to do against SK Miracle in this constant quest to get points towards globals? So, the next match is going to be Jupiter. We have got Pankotsu, Hegego, and Milkrayo and Tensai up against B-boy. There we go. Kenji, Achapi, Saipons, and Slippy. Jupiter, the reigning champions of the region. B-boy have got a tough match ahead. Of course, if Jupiter win this, they win the entire group, and then it does come down to B-boy against SK Miracle. But Jupiter, the first thing Pankotsu does with his prize money each month, which of course, they're quite used to winning at this point, is ordering some delicious sushi. Yummy. Hegego and Tensai, who are also very food-focused with their prize money, say they will spend it on a big meal with the team. It sounds like they're already celebrating. And honestly, who can blame them after performances like this? Let's take a look at B-boy and see what they're about. Kenji, Achapi, Saipons, and Slippy. If Kenji wins money, then he's going to buy an airplane. That's a lot of money. That's a lot more. I don't know if. Well, let's see if he actually does that if they win this series.
Thanks very much, Falcone. Looking forward to this next match coming up very shortly. But what a performance so far we've already seen this week from Jupiter. A smash for the Roman god of the sky and thunder. Tridd, what's going on, man?
Not a lot other than just absolute continued dominance from Jupiter. One of our teams are already in our world finals, so don't really expect anything less from them. But I was thoroughly surprised by SK Miracle, as I've already mentioned. I think they played quite well. Let's see if B-boy can topple a god that is now seen to be able to bleed.
Yeah, I mean, bleeding but never dropping a set. It's an incredible performance from Jupiter so far, and I think that even with a little bit of an upset stab here and there, the armor is shaken but still worn strong, and I think they've got a good chance at taking this one, sweeping again with another 3-0. But let's take a look at the bans. We've got Surge and Sprout on screen, Tridd.
So it does mean Gale's going to get through the ban. A lot of brawlers have been enjoying playing that one, so probably see some Gale in this next series. Pit Stop's going to be our first stop, Gem Grab being our first map type in the rotation.
All right, without any Sprout in rotation, that's going to make it a little bit easier to contest for those kind of narrow areas in the left and right channels of the map. B-boy is going to be using a comp here with a little bit more long-range action, fast-paced, in-your-face damage, while it looks like Jupiter is going to be trying to hop right over. Wow. Actually, no, B-boy makes it all the way to the save and gets a few pop shots off. Daryl rolling straight through for some early damage, Tridd.
Yeah, and this is typically what we see on this map type in particular. In this map, they're using the spring platforms to get themselves behind enemy lines to steal as much damage as possible, get the Daryl onto site, and just start wrecking the safe. And B-boy's going to escape from this one. Ponkotsu will play cleanup, but they're yet to make a significant dent on B-boy's safe.
Yeah, Ponkotsu playing pretty much full-time defense here, just sitting back at his own safe and hoping that Hagego can break through over there on the right side, but forced into kind of a 3v1 almost. He's like having to hide behind the bushes and giving another chance here for B-boy to pop away at the safe. Sight takes it down below half health now, and there's nothing that Ponkotsu can really do about Kenji except try to push him away. That angle is not working out for him. Barley getting lots of damage on that safe again.
Yeah, Hagego and Ponkotsu trying to clear them out, but they're just letting B-boy's Sight get onto the safe and deal damage. He has to commit the super every time. He's doing a great job of shutting him down, but every time Sight goes in, he gets damage, and he's now at 21% HP.
This brawler comp from Jupiter just really relies on getting that team kill and being able to push far in. On the other side, though, Sight can just continue jumping in, and almost every time he gets 10 to 20% damage off the safe, and that'll be it. Just trickling away. The drip drop from B-boy has turned into a monsoon, washing away Jupiter in this first game.
I honestly think Jupiter just got out-comped there. We've seen time and time again, particularly on this map type, you let the Gene set up, you give them the springboard, and you send a beefier unit who can stick onto the safe. There was no consistent path for Jupiter to get onto B-boy's safe, and so they just slowly lost the war of attrition. They did manage to catch up more to the end, and their damage was accelerating. They got it down to 21% at the end, I think. But for the most part, they were just waiting for B-boy to destroy their safe.
Yeah, when your strategy is to counterpunch, you really have to wait until an opportune moment when your opponent pushes really hard into you, team wipe them, then straight back into their own safe. But they never really seemed to do that. It was just one little poke and prod here, tossing a few Barley shots over the wall, sending in a Daryl, jumping over with the spring trap, and just playing a lot more aggressively than Jupiter. B-boy were well rewarded with the win in the first game. Let's see if we get a comp swap up here from Jupiter, or no, they're pretty much going to go for the same strategy, just hoping to set up in a different manner this time, I suppose.
Yeah, Sight's just going to flex through his skins, though, so he's moving over to a different one now from what he had in the previous one. I think that's the only change coming in. As he gets ready to go onto that platform, Hagego's going to do a little bit of good there with the Barley to try and mitigate some of that damage and get Sight off early, but they're actually sending in Atrophy as well, who's going to get that free damage. Ponkotsu hiding behind the safe, trading it out. This time, Jupiter have started to get the lead, Woody, though. They've got about a 4% difference in their favor.
Yeah, but not a very grim lead at all for them.
Who's going to stop Sight?
Yeah, rolling straight through for another one, and a super to go straight out again. That safe is getting cracked early on, and B-Boy are on their path to a 2-0 sweep.
You got to focus. See, the thing, Ponkotsu has to go forward to stop Kenji. Hagego's then going to move forward. They have to come back to deal with Sight on the other side of the terrain. B-Boy are pushing and pulling them away, and Jupiter don't know how to react.
Bouncing and springing around like he's Tigger with a trigger finger itching to fire away at that last 10% of the safe. Sight makes another hop in there, takes a shot, but Ponkotsu replies with a big salvo of shots, but I don't think it's going to be enough to save this team. Atrophy takes another shot. 36 hit points on the safe, Tridd.
And here's the final blow. Sight will walk in. Oh, he got shut down! They had a great response to him. They just want to send KG. Oh, there we go. Just gonna land it. It only needed one tap, one tick, and that is going to be B-Boy taking the first map away from Jupiter.
Long range delivery from B-Boy. That shot from Barley. What beautiful service. I hope they give him 5 stars, Drew.
Definitely on whichever mobile app ordering service they use, given the 5-star rating on that one. But yeah, they weren't able to adapt to it. I think you saw the strength of B-Boy's composition when you saw, okay, Kenji's going to stand on the other side of the terrain and just launch damage over the top. Well, we don't have a thrower. We have to go around and deal with him. Okay, we've gone around to deal with him. Oh, turn around. Hang on a minute. We left our back door open, and now all of a sudden we've got Sight in our living room with his feet up. It's just we can't do. They couldn't do anything about it. They were just getting thrown around everywhere, trying to deal with the multiple damage threats.
You can really see how the teams were focused in a different manner with that stat line there. Triple the kills for Jupiter's side and like over double the damage dealt, but B-Boy focused solely in on the safe, played to the objective, and got the win easy there against Jupiter, a squad that seemed so dominant, but is going to have a chance to come back now with penalty kick. They played really well in the previous matchup in Brawl Ball, and I'm expecting similar success here. Tridd, is now the time for the comeback, or has B-Boy really set the stage properly for their ascendancy here?
I don't think a team like Jupiter would get phased by one loss, so I have a feeling it's definitely still, we've got a series ahead of us, and I don't think the B-Boy are just going to roll away with this one. I think Brawl Ball can serve as a good platform for Jupiter to come back into this one, but of course there are no guarantees at the moment, Woody. We have no idea how this is going to pan out.
All right. The stage is set and the ball is ready for kickoff. Teams are moving in. We've got a bow, a Max, and a Barley up on top for B-Boy. Some solid long-range damage, but swapping out for a little bit more standard mid-range setup here from Ponkotsu and Milcreo, running that Mr. P. Lots of shots over the walls here are going to give him some easy access behind these pillars before they go down. Milcreo taking that magic puffs is going to give a little bit of a survivability edge here for Jupiter as well. And it seems like that's working out well for them, pushing deep now into B-Boy and threatening to take control of the center.
They're going to zone away everyone from the last call. There's so much Barley damage on the field right now for Kenji to finally get the kill. Going to throw over the super as well. Now they get control of the ball, move around to the left-hand side. They box Ponkotsu and Milcreo. Sight gets pulled in. He's able to bite off more than he can chew, as he will shut him down, and that was a 3v1. They won't be able to clear out Hagego. They're going to force him away, zone him, and they catch the ball just in time to move out, and now B-Boy have to play a little bit further back.
Jupiter got painted into a corner there. It's only off the grace of the Hage God who was able to keep them alive. Catching that ball right before it was going to roll past the finish line. Nice job to Atrophy there, but a little bit too late to claim an early lead here for B-Boy. Jupiter have pushed back out. I think that left side really is their weak spot. Ken is working that area hard, and with the area denial from those shots, Barley is able to really effectively even play not just on parity at the 1v1, but maybe even pushing back into the center now with the 1v2, knocking down Milcreo.
No, Milcreo! There was nothing he could do. He got stunned up by the traps, and then has a giant pie thrown at him to damage him and finish him off. So struggling to get out of that one, and now the rest of Jupiter, they had a slight man advantage, and they're pushing forward with the ball, but the ball hasn't really left the midfield ever since that initial rush from B-boy.
It's an opportunity now for Jupiter to make their way in. 30 seconds left before all the walls come tumbling down to this Brawl Ball game, and the advantage right now is with Jupiter, possession on their side, and B-boy are just spread out really far. Sight tried to take advantage of Hagego sliding in there with a gadget a little while ago, but not rewarded. Hagego is playing really heads up here, pushing back KenG now in the mirror match, and should be able to knock him out with that super. No, misses him, but still is able to get the finishing blow. Still, B-boy have been able to reclaim possession, and that could frustrate Jupiter's attempts to make the shot happen here.
But there's no supers online for B-boy. They're not going to have these long-range passes available, but that's a different story for Jupiter. They can get a kill here without burning a super. They have an open shot on goal from afar, so that's something B-boy really be conscious of in these final seconds of play.
A beautiful, amazing amount of damage dished out by Jupiter, but Sight is going to be right where he needs to be. Heads up play, tosses the ball forward with a dash of his gadget. He'll make it all the way to the enemy line. A shot from Achapi can't quite make it in, Tridd.
And now they're going to move forward on the counterattack. Like we said, they've got those supers online. They can get a kill. Pass it over to Milkreo. He can take a super shot potentially. They need to find the damage. Hagego. Going down.
Low.
He's not going to.
He's not looking good either. Sight's finished off. Milkreo for the pass. Ponkatsu, can he get it?
Ponkatsu's going to open it back up, and no, Milkreo has to take a shot on goal. They were just going to erode each other, but once again came down to the wire. But finally, Jupiter get that goal they needed, and will take the first game of Brawl Ball.
Just remember how close that goal was going in from earlier from Achapi. Just takes a shot with inches away. Tiny little advantage there, able to keep Jupiter alive long enough for a deep overtime score. Jupiter got the win there, but it was not decisive by any means. I could certainly see B-boy coming back and bouncing in another one after that, Tridd.
Oh, absolutely. Down to the wire. 8 seconds remaining in overtime with only 1 goal scored, and even then, that was questionable whether that was going to succeed or not. Until, obviously, right at the end, we had an open goal. Of course, it was going to go in, but very questionable about whether they'd win that engagement.
The thrower damage from those Barleys on both teams, I think, is what really set the pace for that entire match. There was a lot of area denial, not very easy stepping around, so much toxic waste on the ground the whole time. I think that is going to continue to be the story of this match if we do see Barleys once again for both teams. They were really oppressive in the early stage and even down into the late stage when there were no more obstacles. It was still really hard to path around them with so many shots going off. You step into that Barley wake one single time, and that could be the end of your push, Tridd.
Yeah, and we're waiting to see if we can jump into that next round. Any adaptations coming in? Will we see more Barleys throwing everything around? Not for Jupiter, as they bring in the Gale as a replacement.
Yeah, interesting swap out here. That's going to rely more on that upfront damage. They'll expect it to play a bit more aggressively now because they won't have those long-range shots that they were relying on so heavily last time. They get an early trade here. Gene's going down, and that's going to give a little bit more of uncertainty into the middle of the arena. A dominating position, though, set up here by Jupiter now with that double kill. Trying to force back B-boy, but Achapi's not going to have any of it. Stabs right into the gut of this face and starts firing away.
Now looking to take control of the middle. Milkreo has got his magic hand online. Achapi could be a victim, although he's looking to do something similar as well. Spencer online, going to get some of the porters on the field as the rest of B-boy will move forward. They take out Ponkatsu, so they've got the man advantage for the time being. Achapi actually missing that magic hand to try and make it a 3v1, so it will slow down the momentum a little bit.
Great job by KenG there, just painting Ponkatsu into a corner. You saw him being forced all the way down to the bottom of the map, and that is exactly what you got to do when you're playing as Barley. You are all about field control and denying easy access to return fire. Ponkatsu not having any of it. Once again, shut down there by KenG, and Barley is going wild, tossing all these pies around the whole of the map, and that shot is good! Achapi scores!
Sight boosted him on the max around the corner, and while that was happening, KenG was locking Milkreo and Hagego in the back to the left. They couldn't get in there to defend, they just ran it straight past.
Excellent job to B-boy there. I gotta say, KenG is...
It's gonna happen again? Oh!
He's going in for another one. Nice shot there from Hagego. Is able to push them back out, repelling with just barely enough force to stay alive. Jupiter are really down to the wire now, Tridd.
Got 40 seconds remaining. They can still make something work. Ball possession and map control for the time being. There's the speed boost from Sight to move Atropy into position. He could end it all with a hook at the right time. They're going to go on the aggression. Sight is forcing away Hagego. Atropy's there. He needs to get that super online. There's the speed boost for Atropy. He's going to do the exact same thing. Pass off the back wall, but Hagego shuts it down with a super. Sight moves into position with the gadget, but it's not enough. Ponkotsu will retain control. 15 seconds remaining.
So close to getting it in again right there. B-Boy are saying that the best defense is a good offense, just sending it right to the goal line again, and Jupiter are not going to have enough time to set up again. Sight's done it, able to kick it back off the wall, and Jupiter cannot regain possession. B-Boy will take game number 2 and tie this set up.
So we're guaranteed to have at least one more round of Brawl Ball to decide who goes towards another set win. This time around, B-Boy, the Max Gene, just really utilizing the super from Max to be able to run in behind and get to advantageous positions. They nearly had goal number 2, but Hagego, see that catches the ball as passes and supers straight away to get it back out of the reach of that goal and try and have some semblance of a counterattack.
A really tip-top play there from B-Boy. I think Jupiter suffered from swapping out Barley, a brawler who got lots of value in the midfield, and especially the early game there. B-Boy taking advantage of Ponkotsu on the bottom side and not letting him out of that spawn zone several times. Just oppressive area of effect damage dished out there by that mad robot. And I don't know if you've seen the new Barley animation. It's really funny, though. Just echoes everything I just saw in the game there. When he goes on a rampage, he's super hard to stop, Tridd.
Yeah, well, hopefully there's a little solution to shut him down. Maybe an off switch hidden somewhere around him to try and get that to stop that from happening. We're looking towards our third and potentially final map of Brawl Ball, and we're going to jump into that right away, looking for any compositional changes. Will they go back to Barley? That's a question on my mind. They are, in fact, going to do that. So they've removed the Gale. They've gone back to their original comp. You get your wish, Woody. Barley's back on the field.
And I'm happy to see him. I think that that's got an even-Steven chance for both of these teams to emerge victorious in set number 2. Hagego and Kenji are really having a massive duel over on the left lane, but Hagego, I think, has got a slightly better position here now. He's playing a little bit more defensively and has some more area to walk around. As soon as Kenji gets the upper hand, he runs straight into that wall out the left side and finds difficulty advancing any further. Hagego, forced into an awkward spot here, is going to have to drop his super to deny access to the B-Boy squad and buy a little more time for his team, but Jupiter is not looking strong so far, Tridd.
No, they've been locked in the corner. This is the same thing we saw in the previous game. There's the speed boost from Max. Sight looking for a pass, a catch.
Oh, it's
Chappie will squeeze it in as he catches it. Once again, there's just the go button of the Max Super, and B-Boy use it perfectly to find these windows to get the goals.
Super fast speed, and you can't catch up against a Max supered up like that. Sight is going to take it right straight back to him again. A double kill. Hagego goes down. That's going to be a Tridd. A pushback from the Milcreo gadget, but it's not enough to deny B-Boy 2 in a row. They've taken set number 2 as well.
What a way to close it out, and we got to start asking ourselves, was it Jupiter underperforming in map number 1, or a B-Boy just this good when it comes around to the monthly final, Woody? They've now got themselves in a position where they are 2-0 in a series against Jupiter. That is not something I was expecting to see today.
Incredible job from B-Boy so far. They've done well in the past, but they have really just flipped the whole script this time. Jupiter, an Ascendant squad in the APAC region at the very top of the leaderboards, is struggling now against a B-Boy team that has turned it up to 11, 2 sets in a row off the Roman God of War. The B-Boys are dancing, and they're ready to make that march into the 3rd set and finish this thing off nice and quick, Tridd. It's going to be a double swoosh game.
Double swoosh coming in, and we typically see on this map a lot of Tara, a lot of Bo, a little bit of Mr. P last time as well, trying to get over some of those obstacles. So it's a nice few different directions we can see these comps go in that we haven't seen on the broadcast so far.
Yeah, there's quite a bit of bush play on this map. Really forces brawlers that can see past those bushes, or at least apply a lot of long-range splash damage into them. Brawlers like Mr. P play really well here because even if you don't know exactly where your opponents are, if you can bounce that briefcase over the walls and into the bushes, you get a pretty good idea about what you're up against. It's all about grabbing those gems, though, and getting up to 10 early on. A gadget use there from sight is going to give B-Boy a chance to identify where their enemies are at. KenGi is pushing deep into the bush, but he's got a 2-on-1, and he's going to be forced to retreat here, Tridd.
Yeah, both teams have used one of those charges of the gadget. Hagego getting that second charge in to reveal where everyone's hiding. Give Milcreo the confidence to move forward to grab some of these gems, but that last one he just grabbed was easy. It's right outside his door thanks to the spawn RNG.
An early lead here can really avalanche into a big victory later on, and B-Boy have gotten that lead just like they've been planning. Nice use of the gadgets there from sight, and all three brawlers still up on B-Boy's side of the field. Oppressive fire raining down on them from both angles, and in the center, Achapi looks undisturbed. Up to 6 gems now, looking for a 7th. If he can get that one in the middle, no. It's going to give it up to Milcreo, but still, that's a big lead for B-Boy.
Yeah, he just wants to get himself, play it safe. You know, you're under no pressure. If you go for a gem and get punished and lose them all, then it's not worth it at all. Just waiting slowly to get some resources online to try and push this back. The now forward position is being held from Jupiter. They said they want to do it as safe as possible, as to not risk Achapi's gems. But there's gravity coming in from Hagego, so they're not going to be able to push forward, and they're pushed even further away. This is where Jupiter can extend their lead.
Yeah, a chance down to make the comeback happen. Hagego can get a lot of damage in at the short range, and he's been able to pulverize KenGi out on the left side, even with a really nice super setup, busting down some of those bushes. KenGi hasn't been able to keep pace just yet. Achapi going down was another chance there for Jupiter to strike back, but instead, they've chosen to play the slow game, just trickling up that gem count up to 10 now, and with the countdown started, they've got to go all in against Milcreo, or Jupiter will get this first game.
Too late, Woody. They've lost the gems as well. They knew exactly what was going to have to. They knew that Jupiter had the advantage. Hagego just waited for Achapi to make a mistake because the spawner wasn't going to give them a way back into this game. Punishes him immediately, picks up the gems, disappears into the night like the bandit he is, and gives Jupiter a much-needed game win.
That is the Jupiter that we've come to expect from so many games in the past. Really sneaky moves there from Hagego. I think he was the MVP of that last game for sure. Shutting down KenGi multiple times and then stealing the gems at the very end. Very dangerous close range action from that tower, and using the gadget exactly when Jupiter needed it most. Falling behind in the early game, but mid and late game were theirs to claim, and claim it they did.
Well, let's jump into our next game. We're going ahead of schedule with this one. The teams just want to get into it. No comp changes coming in for either team, so it's all about execution if you're B-Boy and Jupiter.
Thinking to finish things off the same way that they started. Milcreo is going to get a couple of early gems here. B-Boy struggling to regain that confidence and push into a middle that seems really dicey so far. Sight playing super aggressively, and so is Achapi, moving deep into the bushes on their enemy side of the field now and trying to get a few shots off here. Pankatsu playing very defensively and not able to land the shots against Sight. He's hiding right on the very edge there, playing aggressively, and wow, B-Boy is rewarded for it, Tridd.
Yeah, look at the gem lead they're starting to pull away with. They've got all the space as well. Now Jupiter needs to go on the offense to try and resemble some kind of control. Hagego's going to step over those mines, get deleted by the new gadget from Achapi, putting that to work and guaranteeing a kill there.
Epic drop there from Pankatsu, going to reclaim mid-control for Jupiter. Excellent super, but Sight is not going to give up that easily, buying a little bit more time for KenGi to grab a couple more gems here. He's moving back into the center now, and Jupiter are really having to push hard against the squad that's almost up at 10 already.
8 gems. That definitely means if KenGi can get those last 2, then he's going to be in a position where they have to fight and he can't escape. There's another remote detonation for Achapi. They just need to get one more gem, and they're happy to wait for the spawner to give it. Time is ticking, and where is the answer from Jupiter?
KenGi has got it, going deep back and with pockets to spare, dumps out the last remaining Robo Porter, and there's no threat remaining on the board. Hagego dominated on the left by Achapi, and B-Boy have easily taken game number 2, tying up this set and putting it to match point now, Tridd.
Absolutely, Woody. Match point for B-Boy. One more game will give them the series, and make sure that Jupiter's scoreline from this final finishes on a mediocre 1-1, and it does open up B-Boy to go ahead and take that final game against SK Miracle and finish in first place for this monthly final.
Yeah, you know, we're seeing the wrap up now. We're on the downhill for this Brawl Stars Championship. And with the ascendancy of Jupiter, we get to the point where the storyline seems to play out for itself, that you expect that the dominant team in first place, having won multiple months in past, will be able to continue to do so going into the future. But it really is a game that can shake up very quickly. Even gods can be killed. And with one more chance here now, B-Boy might be the squad to do it.
Absolutely. It is a shame that we've already decided we've grabbed ourselves Jupiter, we picked them up, we've grabbed PSG, we put them in the box, we've wrapped it up, tied it in a nice little bow, and we're shipping it to the World Finals already. Because B-Boy have really come into their own, especially in this monthly final. And even if they can't make it to the world stage, they can continue in these monthly finals, get prize money, and prove themselves contenders for what I hope will be a 2021 year of Brawl Stars Esports.
Optimistic, and I think well-placed optimism there, Tridd. But taking a look here now, we see, again, the same setup from both of these teams, looking relatively confident in what they've been bringing in the past. Hagego playing Tara out on the left side is going to be the main player to watch for this game, dropping that gadget early on, but really it's kind of a defensive one, trying to push back up against a B-Boy squad that has remained aggressive the entire set so far.
Yeah, and Jupiter taking that early aggression. They're forcing B-Boy away and getting that early lead. Hagego needs to be careful, taking a lot of attention on the left-hand side. Kenji trying to cut him off. He's going aggressive, but now he's trapped in a back.
Double kill.
Will go ahead and get that kill. So Milcreo has to back off, and finally B-Boy can start looking at getting some gems on the board.
I think that was a strategic misstep from B-Boy. A double kill and zero push from them at all. They've only got one gem, and Milcreo was sitting there alone in the bushes. They could have gotten a big lead, at least in field control. I think B-Boy just missed a big opportunity, Tridd.
I couldn't agree more, Woody. They've not really gained control of this one. They need to get kills. Now they've got some. Let's get a conversion in here. Let's try and get some pressure. But they just gave the gems to Ponkotsu. They let him walk forward. And now they have to go on a full offensive with a full-strength Jupiter.
It's like you've busted into the jewelry store, and just as soon as you get a chance to steal the whole lot, you walk away with nothing. You get a little bit scared and you're shaken. Jupiter have gotten a win here, even though they were, I'm pretty sure, behind in damage dealt and brawler kills. B-Boy not capitalizing on that opportunity, and Jupiter are going to stay in the race. Now 1-2 on the set score overall. B-Boy still have the lead, but wow, I thought it was all over there, Tridd.
Yeah, just B-Boy had the momentum. They were getting the picks. They were just unable to capitalize, and now they've opened up the door for Jupiter to walk through and try and claim themselves a reverse sweep of some description. Looking at the overall damage across the board, Jupiter, over the course of the set, were able to deal more, and the kills are even in this regard. But I think, in particular, you know, B-Boy had the more like dominant individual games when they were winning.
Yeah, I think that this is actually a bit of an upset in the third set. I think it's been upsets in pretty much every set so far. I figured Jupiter was going to start strong, but having dropped early, I thought that they were on a downward trajectory. But picking up set number 3, now they still have got a little bit of breathing room, and they're going to stuff their face with some layer cake in set number 4. I think that they play really well in downy game modes, and this might be the beginning of a reverse sweep now, Tridd.
One can only hope. If you're a Jupiter fan, you need to go over to layer cake, find a way to get those kills. Typically going to see a lot of Piper, I imagine, some Brock, maybe some even Tick when we come around to this one. Yeah. Typically what we see on layer cake, but Tick's always like the wild card. He's not consistently played as much as Piper and Brock are found to be on this map.
Yeah, a lot of times we do get those long-range brawlers. Sometimes, though, we get a little bit of a mix-up and see some close-range action with teams looking to apply pressure. Jackie is sometimes a favorite in that role, so let's see what they do decide to go for here. No, it's going to be that long-range, decisive, big, heavy damage from afar. This time it's going to be B-Boy actually choosing to go with that Tick pick, and double golden Pipers for both teams as well.
But the thing about Jupiter is they brought Gale to the party, Woody, and it means that they're able to get to the mid earlier than B-Boy and claim that first star. So it may only be one, but they do have an early lead over B-Boy at present.
Yeah, it's not worth as much as a kill, but you get a big momentum gain early on and really put your opponent's feet to the fire. B-Boy playing very aggressively in characteristic fashion now and rewarded for it, knocking down Ponkotsu. Nice double team there from Piper and Tick, able to paint him into a corner and keep him away from the safe line on the backside. Ponkatsu going down is going to be even more difficult to push now into a KenG who's just firing away round after round.
He needs Hagego to be able to walk forward and try and cut down these angles that KenG has, because they're not going anywhere. They're trapped in their own spawn right now, unable to do anything. They could go for an aggressive spring platform or spring trap to get themselves over and try and behind this line, but at the moment they're just trapped.
Yeah, maximum mathematical value from Trigonometry. KenG is finally forced back, getting pretty relatively little support from Sight or Achapi, but you know what? They don't need to play very aggressively out on the right side as long as they can keep that midfield held even. B-Boy will be able to push their slim one-star lead. Ponkatsu in a bit of a trouble there, but forced back. He will play it safe, and on defense, he's moving in to hold on for another 19 seconds now. Milcreo gets really low. Could that be?
They need to walk forward. They got 15 seconds remaining, and they're trying to go in. Hagego will destroy some territory, come back with the super. That's aggressive from Milcreo, trying to find a kill, but he's going to be punished for it. And Achapi will just guarantee B-Boy the first map win in that round. I do not blame Milcreo for trying that. Jupiter in a hard spot. It was an aggressive and risky thing to do, but it just got shut down by B-Boy.
It is so terrifyingly difficult to rally the forces when you're down like that, especially in a map where you've got so much open area in the mid and devastating long-range damage dished out for the entirety of that game by B-Boy. Great job to them, well-deserved win. But
that's not Tridd.
Oh, hello.
Hello, Mr. Falcone. How are you? I didn't realize I got so handsome recently.
Yeah, nice hair there.
Yeah, beautiful. I mean, it's a similar color to what my hair is. We'll come back, and now it's decided that I'm too beautiful. But focusing on the game itself, Woody, we're now at match point for B-Boy. Similar story we saw in our last round, but Jupiter managed to come back at the last hurdle. We're looking for him to dig deep, find that world finalist grits that we're hoping to see more of as the tournament persists, to come out here and continue their path towards a reverse sweep.
Yeah, here's the chance to make it happen. Good luck to you, B-Boy. I think you've earned your spot here and have done an amazing job so far with it. You know, they're going to have another match coming up after this one against SK Miracle. So if past is prelude, expect to see them do just as much damage in the next round and potentially pick up with the region win here. B-Boy trying their best, and I think that they've got a lot on their minds right now, Tridd. But that next game win is all that they really can afford to focus on. When you get so far against a dominant team like this, the nerves can start to get to you. You feel like the win is inevitable, and it's hard to maintain that momentum. So if they can finish it off here and now, I think that's what they really want. They don't want to see a repeat of set number 3, where it seemed so much like they were far ahead, but not able to just deliver that final blow.
So we're going to need to look at getting into that next map. A lot of time being stalled right now. Imagine Jupiter realizing and identifying this is the last chance and the last kind of potential map of the monthly final for this time around, taking a little bit extra to prepare. That's absolutely fine. But now we're ready to jump into game. We're going to go into our second map of Layer Cake, and Ponkatsu is coming in on the tick this time as well.
Yeah, gonna keep that long-range action going. I think Tick worked really well for B-Boy last game, and it was a good decision here from Ponkatsu to try to return fire. They need that long-range, over-the-wall type of damage, and so far we haven't seen it from them yet. KenG pushing deep into enemy territory once again, having to use that gadget to get out, but wow, a perfect drop, gets another early kill here, and B-Boy are in the driver's seat on that path to victory once again.
They've never left the driver's seat, Woody. They've been sat down, they got their booster seat, they've gone ahead and adjusted all the settings in the windows, they're comfy, they're ready to drive, and there is nothing that Jupiter can do to try and wrestle control right now. They're getting a few shots on there. Beautiful shot by Hagego to try and curve the bullet round and get that kill to get an early lead, and now we're going to see B-Boy have to go on the assault.
Shut up and shut down, but Jupiter will not be denied. Their last chance at glory, a finishing blow there puts them ahead once again. 3 to 2 stars overall on that scoreline. thanks to that early star that they grabbed from the center there. Hagego and KenG both holding on to 3 stars and giving up a potentially game-saving victory. If either team can get the kill on those brawlers, they're going to have to play a bit more defensively and watch out for those Piper shots. Super long-range damage, hard to avoid, but just one little box separating Hagego from death. He's going to be able to retreat this time and save his skin.
They're zoning him away with the tick grenades, but territory being taken by B-boy. This is something that Jupiter wasn't able to do, and the crossfire's there to find Milcreo. 15 seconds remaining. Jupiter have to go on the hunt.
Here they go. Milcreo jumping straight into the action, drops a super and fires away a massive salvo at sight, but he's not going to have any of it. Figures out one last chance at glory and sends the damage in. B-boy have done it. Takes the 4th set and with it a 3-1 victory over Jupiter.
Grabbing themselves a great start to their monthly final campaign. It means Jupiter's scoreline will be guaranteed to be 1 win, 1 loss for this month. That opens up the 1st place slot for B-boy to nicely and snugly fit into.
Yeah, and we get that awkward position now where Jupiter are going to be cheering for their former opponents, hoping that B-boy can be knocked down a peg to get a 1-1 scoreline for all 3 teams and possibly force a tied match. Not quite sure how that would play out, so fingers crossed for team fans of B-boy to hope that they can just walk away with a 2-0 set win, but SK Miracle is going to be looking to make a stab back soon, Falcone.
They are indeed. That was unexpected, at least from where I was sitting. After SK Miracle got so destroyed by Jupiter, I honestly thought Jupiter were going to tear their way through this. But either way, B-boy is going to take it down, and our MVP is going to be Sight Pons, or Sight Eye, as you'll have seen in game. In Heist with Darrow, he just glued himself to that enemy safe, dealing the damage, sneaking away, drip dropping that damage in across the whole game. There was some very aggressive playstyles there, comboed with the jump pad, and you can just see happening over and over again. Later in Brawl Ball as Max, Sight really took advantage of that super, sneaking himself and his teammates around the opposition, getting some really filthy goals before finally brute forcing that last goal in. And then lastly in Bounty as Brock, he got those key hits in, dealt that key damage, and finally ended that last game with that last elimination on Gale, taking the opposition down. Huge congratulations to B-boy. Let's take a look at what that means for this group. And as our casters just said, this is a pretty weird situation now. If Miracle win this, then all of the teams will end with that 1-1 match score, but it's going to come down to set score. There was a 3-0 with Jupiter up against SK Miracle, so B-boy actually really want to be winning this one, or if they lose, they want to get those set points in. It's pretty important. But here is the final match of the group. SK Miracle, Moding, Weok, Lil Giant, and Ulysses up against B-boy, KenG, Achapi, Sight, Ponce, and Slippy. It's gonna be an intense match. These are the 2 teams that have not yet qualified. Who knows? Maybe these deciding points could be found today. Let's talk about the teams. First up, we have SK Miracle. When Lil Giant was asked what his strategy for the finals are, he replied, "You'll see." I really like where that's going. Each member of SK Miracle claimed that B-boy were the strongest team in Asia. Except for Ulysses, who actually said, no, we're the best. Well, I guess we're going to put that to the test. They've lost to the other team. Let's see if B-boy take them down as well. Here's B-boy. Achapi's superpower is that he has a very good memory. I'm sure that helps a lot with researching enemy comps and knowing exactly what to expect from the other team. When asked what their strategies are for this monthly finals, Achapi said effort, Sight Eye said, I'll do my best, KenG said practice, and Slippy said, my teammates are going to carry me. Well, let's see that in action in the next match.
Thank you very much, Falcone. Yeah, a great performance then from B-boy, and they're looking today to bring home that money. How did you find those games, Woody?
Oh, I loved them. But once again, we're going to have Surge banned out of action. So I know my big robot pal is not going to have a chance to come storming in here once again, Ark. But having looked at that scoreline again, it looks like because they got a 3-0 set line for their victory, Jupiter are actually going to be in a slightly better position than B-Boy off of that one and only win that they've gotten so far. B-Boy picking up the victory in in match number 2 rather, does give them a chance to strike gold here in this match against SK Miracle. A win here would guarantee victory for them in the region overall. But a win for B-Boy, a win for SK Miracle would be a chance to make the comeback happen, depending upon what that set score is. They could even stand to do better than Jupiter did.
Yeah, potentially so. Yeah, it's a shame though, like the surge has not been seen yet. We're still waiting today. If you're just joining the stream, to see our first sign of surge on the competitive scene, but not going to happen in these games. And Gale as well is out, so making way for some interesting brawler choices. We're going to see Woohyuk playing Mortis as well. I wonder whether he'll be running Survival Shovel, that new gadget, as well, as we've already seen some tripwire gadget uses from Bo already today.
Yeah, back on the topic of Surge, I guess the best Surge protector for either of these teams has just been to ban him out and not trying to outplay him. But either way, it looks like they are well prepared for the action that they're going up against right now. B-Boy having a lot of trouble facing off against an SK Miracle team that has just been slicing and dicing their way to victory. I'm really excited to see Woohyuk playing this Mortis, making his way deep in there and getting an early kill. He has got happy feet, Ark.
Yeah, definitely, and going very aggressively already. Mortis is definitely in a good place. I feel like he might even get a nerf soon. I'm seeing him increasingly on ladder, and it's a very annoying brawler to deal with, especially on Brawl. But it is actually going to be SK Miracle that are a bit on the back foot now, as B-Boy are advancing the pop of the Super From site there as well, giving that speed boost, but not going to avail too much, as actually side takes quite a lot of damage as Mooning gets pulled in and taken down quickly.
Excellent job there to Slippy, and a chance now for B-Boy to score. If only they can get that ball back in fast enough. Lil Giant playing well on defense, and it looks like B-Boy have missed the opportunity that they might have given themselves there. Yeah, Mortis is a really interesting pick here. In an ideal circumstance, if he sneaks behind enemy lines, he can get a massive amount of damage off. He really disrupts the enemy team's setup, but if he doesn't get a chance to stab in there, he winds up being a relatively low-value brawler, as just only able to deal damage close range. He's got to get that perfect setup or it's worth nothing. B-Boy have done it, dismantling the defense and knocking SK Miracle down a peg. They get that first goal, Ark.
Yeah, 1 on the board for B-Boy, and yeah, it's now up to SK Miracle to be able to push back here, and with shots from Moding, he's popped the gadget. This should be a lock-on then if he's well, he's already been shown to be running homemade recipe here today so far, so he does need to hit these shots. There's not much time left on the clock. 15 seconds now to push up for SK Miracle, but they can do it. The pressure is going to be on, though.
Really trying their best to get this last chance at a goal, and here they go, charging straight in. Woohyuk gets a kill, but it's not going to be enough. Moding has been denied and pushed back. Excellent covering fire there from Acha P will get them the win in game number 1.
B-Boy off to a great start. I definitely feel like the comp there was definitely not really in favor of SK Miracle. It could have worked out, but it would require a lot of consistent Piper hits and a lot of continuous pressure, which they never really seemed able to really start to get that momentum going, and found themselves a lot of the time on the back foot in a defensive position. So a great start for B-Boy then in this battle between SK Miracle.
Yeah, I think SK Miracle were actually really lacking the survivability that they needed to stay alive against an enemy team that had lots of different ways to get long-range fire in there, especially if Slippy gets a grab on you. That gene pull can deal a ton of damage in a very short amount of time while you are immobilized and on the way in. So that 3-2 brawler advantage is enough often to grab a goal. That's what we saw from B-Boy in game number 1, and I think that you're right, that it was not really a great comp pick there from SK Miracle. Maybe hoping for something different from B-Boy to justify that Mortis pick. But dragging my man Mortis's win rate down, I don't know how they can defend themselves this time.
What a way to kick Mortis when he's already down, right? But I've got to say, for me, I think the Pam pick there is where, for me, the comp thrives. And having that healing station is always problematic for a Piper. You've got to hit a lot of shots to get it taken down, and stepping sniping can help with that. But still, I think matching, and they are actually going to match the power as well. That would be, yeah, what I would say would be a good turnaround, and still going to maintain the mortars, which can be good if you can kind of waste the gadget uses of the Gene there. And already going into a double takedown early on from Woohyuk. That's a great start for SK Miracle.
Double kill for SK Miracle, but what can they do to keep it going? Lil Giant, I think, playing as Pam is a great swap here for SK Miracle. Exactly what they need to give them that survivability bonus. And with that healing turret set up right on the enemy goal line, they might be pushing in for the first shot on goal.
Yeah, pop up the super by Murding as well, but enforcing some speed, but not quite able to make it count. And now actually B-boy might have a chance to push if they can just dodge some shots here. And as quickly as that, the ball is centered and that push is over for SK Miracle.
As soon as it began, it was just ended. Nice job there on defense by B-boy. Grabbing possession of the ball was a crucial decision in that moment that sacrificed a little bit of damage, but gained in a massive positional step up. Now to a bit of a weird spot here from Woohyuk, who's trying his best to get deep into the enemy base, but can't find a spot to take a shot over at sight, who's fast-paced speed has been really difficult for Mortis to overcome. He's instead having to focus solely on that Gene.
Yeah, absolutely. And worth noticing as well, B-boy are running Mama's Squeeze, so that's star power difference. SK Miracle running Mama's Hug. So basically, SK Miracle will have additional healing for every shot that Lil Giant lands, and a Chappie will be using his healing station as actually damage against SK Miracle. If they were to get inside that radius, they will be taking damage, and that was what Moding was suffering from and not able to heal up as a result from in that exchange. But now the ball is centered, and both teams looking to get their supers, and it's SK Miracle that are off to a great start in order to get those on the way. As Slippy misses a super as well. A good chance here then for SK Miracle if they can continue this assault.
Oh, nice job there. Stabbing deep into the enemy base, but that Mama Squeeze is going to deny Woohyuk. Really great choice on that star power for B-boy. That Mama Squeeze working extremely well, especially against close-range brawlers like Mortis and brawlers like Pam, who really would prefer to get up close and personal, but don't have that option when the damage is ticking off so heavily against them. B-boy coming in for a dominant chance again at scoring, and there it goes, drilling it past that last line of defense. B-boy have done it. The 2-0 scoreline on this Brawl Ball game gets them the first set victory.
Great plays, I'm gonna say, and those final moments from B-boy. That Gene pull as well before the boxes did go down. Could have played a pivotal moment there had it not gone into overtime, but the pass was there, and I like as well that Slippy was low. He didn't take any risks by trying to shoot. It was probably a bad position to do so, and being patient there was key. And as we see there, look at the difference actually in terms of kills. Definitely far more in favor in B-boy, and we do tend to see in Brawl that more kills and less deaths do tend to lead towards goals, and in this instance, it absolutely did.
Yeah, sure did. Ark never needing to score more than one goal in any particular game, usually waiting for overtime to make that crucial push happen. We saw B-boy playing it very cautiously, safely, bouncing off of that win against Jupiter to play a very similar setup in that Brawl Ball game mode. But we're going to be moving into Minecart Madness next. It's another gym grab map. This is actually the only set that B-boy lost in their previous matchup against Jupiter. I think that you're going to have to really throw your expectations out, though, because this Minecart Madness map is very different from other gym grab game modes, especially when you factor in that cart that rolls all around, dealing tons of damage to any brawler who gets caught in the way. What are you looking forward to most in this next set, Ark?
It's definitely going to be a long-ranged affair. I feel that if you haven't played the game for this update, there's been some big changes in Minecart Madness, and now with the sidewalls being removed and having the rope fence, which is a mechanic where you can shoot through but not move through, it has opened up a lot of different brawlers into the mix here. We're seeing much less of Rosa and the Slambulance and far more of a ranged affair, and Slippy going to go with the Mortis pick here. I think that's kind of interesting. I think we've yet to see Mortis being played so far, really, on Minecart Madness, and actually running as well, that new gadget as well, Survival Shovel, making an appearance here for B-boy, and off to a pretty good start already. That Mortis pick putting a lot of pressure on SK Miracle early on.
Yeah, we're finally seeing Sprout being deployed here as well, defensively for B-Boy up, or for SK Miracle, but playing very aggressively, kind of ironically here. That super can come in very handy, especially with so many little narrow choke points on this map. Why is Moding playing so aggressively as Sprout there? Am I missing something here?
It does seem to be a bit of an odd start for SK Miracle, I've got to say there, Woody. Yeah, and Slippy actually came out of that spawn with 4 gems from a very vicious assault there. So it's actually almost a countdown, and Slippy, if you can get a kill here on Little Giant here, could start that countdown in motion. It's actually going to be SK Miracle that escaped with gems from the spawn. It's a very, very weird game, I've got to say, Woody, of both of these two teams going in super aggressively here. We're seeing gems dropping left, right, and center, and it's back to a draw. I don't know what's going on.
Chaos is a ladder, Ark. An opportunity here now for Slippy to turn this thing around. Gets the kill on Woohyog, and he'll take those gems, and he's going right through the middle. No chance for SK Miracle to come back now. Great job there from B-Boy, and particularly to Slippy. Far and away the MVP from this game, making a really unorthodox move, but getting so much value out of it. I am shocked and so impressed by that Mortis maneuver.
It was absolute chaos. I did feel like at the end, Little Giant may have been able to use that tripwire gadget and maybe place those mines specifically on the gem carrier. He kind of did it a bit prematurely and didn't prioritize the main gem carrier holder. But what a strange and bizarre but interesting game there. Very just uber aggressive for both teams there, and very much apart from the kind of normal kind of controlled manner that we tend to see gem grab play out. But I mean, it kind of worked in a way.
Oh, I mean, it definitely worked out for B-Boy. I think that when there's highly regimented and controlled ABC by the book Brawl Stars, you tend to see the team that's better prepared taking the win out. But when you've got so much chaos going on, it's not the team that determines who wins. It's the one player who can play their brawler perfectly, sneaking behind enemy lines, in that case as Mortis, and just completely upsetting the entire setup there from SK Miracle. It was like a 2-on-1 right there in the middle at the last few seconds, but B-Boy were able to get the win because of the bravery, the incredible audacity of Slippy charging straight in and yeah, delivering the final blow there for B-Boy. But let's get into game number 2 now, Ark.
Yeah, it was a great pick. And Mortis is a bit like a shock pick. You don't really expect it coming. And again, like I said at the beginning, I was really expecting to see a long-ranged affair. And this game looks to be more in keeping with that, with double max. And I think actually I do prefer the bow over the pan pick here, actually, because obviously you can place those mines over the healing station, and that's going to deter a lot of B-Boy looking to use that healing station to heal, because as we've already seen, they tripwire is such a strong gadget to use here. It's definitely going to deter in that respect, but it is going to be a great pull off the bat from Slippy, and a good mid control from B-Boy early on.
Nice job here to Achapi, speeding up and zipping around on the backside. Huge gym advantage and no chance yet for SK Miracle to even push back past that first line of train tracks. Here we go, though. It's the supers being dropped, speed boosts all around, and a chance to finally make their way in. But getting trapped with that minecart out behind them, B-Boy have a chance to really deliver the final blow here. Are they going to pressure in? Yes, they will, getting the kill there. Sight takes out Moding and gives Achapi another gem. 2 more will get the countdown started. A pull against Little Giant's going to be good enough to get the job done. That's all 10 for B-Boy.
Slippy is playing for me fantastically well today. That previous game with Mortis and now with Gene, consistent pulls, and that is what gave B-Boy the countdown here. Can Little Giant use his mines? He didn't really, again, focus those mines on the gem carrier. It was evaded, and therefore it is going to be B-Boy, which will take gem grab now as well, in a great spot, Woody, today.
Yeah, not just the MVP of this set, but like the MVP of the team that seems on their way to win this region overall. Slippy has got to be the name on everyone's minds right now. The talk of the town. This guy can play lots of different brawlers to maximum effect, and is often the primary reason why B-Boy has been able to pick up really difficult wins against squads who since they're on this main stage, are the best in the region and arguably the best in the world in the case of Jupiter. B-Boy have really done a smashing job so far here today. Gotta say hats off to them, and only one more set separates them from total victory in this region.
Yeah, absolutely, Woody. Couldn't have put it better myself. And here we go back in then to set 3, Heist up next, Hot Potato. And going to be definitely a very, very different variety of brawlers here. Be interesting to see what Slippy does bring out the pack this time round. I do like to see a Rico mid here. I like to see some throwers. We haven't really seen many throwers other than Sprout and that brief appearance of Tick earlier in Layer Cake today. So we could see some Barley potentially here as well. And you know, it would be nice to see a bit of variation now. We've seen a lot of similar brawlers being played, whereas this particular map of Heist does bring out a bit more in that respect.
Yeah, you don't see quite as many hardcore stab dives straight into the enemy safe. You often see a lot of that tit-for-tat play in the midfield, trying to jockey for positioning here and going for control rather than hardcore aggression. It's going to be Achapi into the middle, taking a few pop shots off at Woohyuk, but he takes a hit himself. And with that burning rage, Woohyuk able to drop those area of effect shots. Actually, both Brocs are going to be going for that incendiary fire. That's going to give a big lead up to whichever team can better play around these big area of effect hits in the middle of the arena, Ark.
Yep, Sight getting a super out on the safe and early. So it's good to see Barley being played by both teams. And if you haven't seen it, there was a fantastic advertisement on the official Brawl Stars YouTube channel this week and on their Twitter as well. For Barley, nod to that. I absolutely love seeing those Brawl Stars animations. So make sure you check that out if you haven't already. But actually, SK Miracle now in a good spot to get a bit of damage. They were on a bit of the back foot early on, and now a bit of pressure being applied to B-Boy. It's a pretty even amount of damage being applied to both sides, but it is Modin getting some great shots continuously so onto the B-Boy safe. And now, look at this, only 20% left. This could be all over here really soon.
B-Boy taking a ton of damage and not able to justify that big hit. They're going to have to push back hard and not let a single brawler from SK Miracle back over the line. This is their final stand, Ark.
Yeah, it's like, at the moment, B-Boy trying to get mid-control again and just push up sight, getting some shots out, but Moding is in a position to be on the defensive here. He can't really push the mid and contest Chappy's raining down shots. And actually, B-Boy here, if they can get this control, which Sight does gain that left-hand side lane and able to put pressure now, forcing back Moding. This is a great chance for B-Boy if they can capitalize here.
Not gonna get a chance to move in. Moding eliminated once again, and B-Boy are just getting that long-range damage piling on the safe. They've been able to put this back at parity now. 14% health for SK Miracle, but a chance to make it in. Moding takes a shot right out of the safe. He gets it. SK Miracle take their first game here against B-Boy in this heist game mode.
It's not over yet, but SK Miracle some fight now we are seeing, and I did have my heart in my mouth to think back to what we saw earlier today with SK Miracle, not able to finalize those games, and it did seem a little bit like history repeating there as we saw that counter push from B-Boy, and what a counter push it was, but it was SK Miracle the end which got the damage they needed, and they're hanging on with it.
Yeah, not a smashing success by any means. Their own safe down into the teens on percentage, but able to leverage that early damage advantage that they got against B-Boy and not let enough pass. They got exactly what they needed on their last stab there. It was really kind of an all-in move from SK Miracle. If those last few shots hadn't gone up for Max, that might have been a chance for B-Boy to counterattack and end it all right there. So gutsy play, but well rewarded. Fortune favors the bold, and the bold from SK Miracle, that bold move there certainly paying off. Let's see how they do in game number 2 if they can keep up that pressure.
Yeah, they're going to change. There's any changes. It's going to be a mirror comp, straight up mirror comp here as well. And yeah, the Max being not banned here is definitely, I think we've seen Max being played in every game mode so far. So yeah, no surprises there to see that pulled out once again. Little Giant early on getting pinched here between the champions to be allowing Moding actually to capitalize on the situation and push through the mid, and now Lil Giant will follow through as well, and a champion looks like he might even go down here with a few shots. Nope, staying alive. It's a bit of a base race now, buddy.
All three brawlers on the enemy safe, but it's going to be a retreat for SK Miracle, not able to keep up pace. They're moving back to try to play defense now against the B-Boy squad that has gotten their enemy safe down into the teens. Big lead here for B-Boy, but can they keep it up? A big kill from Modi on Atrophy is going to be able to tie things up again. Single digits left on that save. They've done it! SK Miracle have taken set number 3. A smashing, resounding, echoing chamber of victory here for them, moving back with a win against the B-Boy squad that, well, they've lost set number 3 in both of their matches so far. Is this the curse of the 3rd set for B-Boy?
Exactly, it could well be. SK Miracle had a great round of Heist then. As you can see, they're actually not much different in terms of the deaths. Actually, only 1 in it, but it's the damage on the safe Heist which made all the difference for SK Miracle, and both rounds then going down to 0%, and that might help. It might well help going into this this 4th set to give them a bit of a lift. And as they were already down, and for all intents and purposes looked out to me, they're going to continue on here as we go into Nuts and Bolts Siege, a bit more of a control-based map, and that's my only reservation here, is that we have seen already B-Boy performing very well in Gem Grab, and Siege is kind of similar. You can't deny that.
Yeah, it's a really all-or-nothing game mode with the Bolt spawning in the middle. Whichever team gets more gets that Siege bot, and there's kind of no reward at all for the team that has fewer bolts. The only prize you get is a big slap in the face as a robot comes in and tries to smash your Ike. So this, I think, dynamic plays a lot better to the team that's already in the lead. They're often willing to soak a smaller Siege bot earlier on if it means being able to get a Bolt economic advantage for the late game. And I think that B-Boy are definitely the team to expected to take away the victory here. But having not really seen very much in terms of Siege so far in these first couple of matches, I'm interested to see how the meta has evolved in this first game, Ark.
You're going to see double thrower from SK Miracle straight out the gates, and I won't say which player said it, but I've heard that actually double thrower is a very good strategy against Surge. So it'll be interesting to see if we do see Surge later today, whether we do see that strategy being performed against it, as it is a very dominating brawler in the meta currently. But it is going to be an early push for B-Boy, and SK Miracle are forced to retreat and defend this. And the question now is whether B-Boy will just kind of hold this next round, or whether SK Miracle will start to try to get some early fight back into the mid. At the moment, the 3 bolts in the bag are with SK Miracle, but quick banks here, no doubt, from B-Boy might quickly change that.
Yeah, SK Miracle got more bolts off that first round, but not in time to deny the first Siege bot to B-Boy. That positional advantage for B-Boy, though, is what's going to stay on their minds. So as they've already been able to get all 5 now bolts from the second round. They've been able to get every single bolt from the second round, and that's just what you deserve when you're able to get that first bot on the field, forcing your opponents back onto defense, and only we get 6% damage on their Ike, but still just enough to justify this big momentum swing now, all in B-Boy's favor.
That's a lot of damage raining in, and really just Woohurk and Moding able to put shots against the little giant, weak on the left-hand side as well. And this is not a great spot for SK Miracle to find themselves in. They need to get back into this mid as Sight pops up. A great actual wall there being placed by Moding to force Sight into a spot, but it's going to be a bit of a scrap for SK Miracle to take anything here, as 8 bolts now are in the bag for B-Boy.
Still way too much to ask. A great job there to Moding, probably the best player of the 6 in that last round of exchange, but not enough to overcome the power that B-Boy have been setting up on this field. Great moves, especially from Max, being able to zip around the entire map and deny access to these throwers who rely so much on positionality to get the value out of their shots. A finishing blow here for B-Boy sets them up on the match point to take it all in game number 2, Ark.
Yeah, it could all be over in this next game in favor of B-Boy if they can just compose themselves. And I think for me, SK Miracle have got to change the double thrower comp. It's clearly not working. They weren't able to get a single push in that game. B-boy were just absolutely walking all over them. They've got to mix things up, try something a bit tankier. Maybe even a Jackie could work and serve well for them here. She's not completely out of the meta. We have seen her being played a bit since the balance changes, but they've got to do something. This is not working. Double thrower is just not going to cut it in this next game.
Yeah, I'm looking for the hard punish. I want to see him go back to Mortis now. You want to run double thrower when you're up against a team that's been able to play Mortis before and get wins with him? Pretty ballsy, if you ask me, Ark.
Oh, if you pull out the Mortis pick here and it serves well and you win the game with Mortis, then I mean you can absolutely rest your head this evening, knowing full well that you've done well for yourself, because Mortis is definitely not the go-to brawler pick for Siege. But yeah, that would absolutely be the ultimate salt in the wound if B-boy were to pull that card in the next game.
Or would maybe the first win with a Crow be even more devastating? It's time for style points, B-boy. What are you going to bring in here? Oh, they've got Carl this time instead.
Carl's not actually a bad pick for this particular map, and they're going to bring out BB. I think it's the first time we've seen BB today as well, so change to both sides here.
And Jackie from Miracle.
Yeah, and Jackie as well. Yeah, I think Jackie's the more go-to brawler, I would say here. BB's definitely viable still. She's still in a pretty good spot. She's not as overpowered as she was in the previous meta, but she's definitely still a worthy go-to here. The Siege is going to be tied for the first round here, but it is B-boy with the control.
Yeah, advantage for B-boy as they've been able to get into the mid and hold on to it pretty strongly here. A double kill early on for them is going to allow them to establish a strong positional lead in the middle. Achapi struggling up against Little Giant now and kind of requiring that angling power from Sight, who charges in fully bearing all of his teeth and growling as he takes a chomp right out of SK Miracle.
We're getting some good value there, and support from Modi is going to surely get Chubby taken down with a nice... Well, I'm loving, actually, I've got to say, despite SK Miracle being on the back foot, Modi is getting some great wall placements to be able to try to force B-boy into a really nice channeling, but it's not really supported by his teammates, I feel, and that's what's causing SK Miracle to struggle. It's a level 12 coming in for them to defend, but got to be worth noted, actually, there are 8 bolts in the bank for SK Miracle, so a good defense here and a quick push back into the center. If they can survive this push, would be great for them.
I love that Michael Jackson moonwalk from Sight. No matter which way he's moving, he can slide back around real fast with that gadget and use that perfectly to take out Modi and claim position in that second round. We've got the last Siege now and a big lead for B-boy on damage and positioning in the middle. But can they overcome this bolt advantage for SK Miracle and keep themselves in a safe position here? They need to get 3 more just to tie things up, and that's going to be a tall order with only 7 seconds left for the last Siege arc.
Should be able to just about do it. If Modi can get this 1 here as well, and Little Giant banks, that's 10. That's not bad. That's kind of the best possible result that I think SK Miracle could hope for. Modi popping the gadget, a really clutch play. It's got to be because they've got to stay alive for this push if they're going to have any hope in order to get the damage needed here. As now SK Miracle advancing, B-boy and low as well. The damage starting to rain in. Can they do it? It's going to be...
Here it comes! The bot survives! That's going to be enough! SK Miracle have done it! Tied it up in this set number 4, 1-1 off the backs of a Siege bot who just kept going, pulverizing the Ike with so many shots. And even when it was about to go down, that last and final push from SK Miracle would not be denied. Great moves there. Not able to knock the Ike out, but more damage dealt than B-boy could muster, Ark.
My goodness me, that was cutting it close for sure. Got to remind ourselves that B-boy are on match point there, so and still are. So the pressure is very much with SK Miracle right now, but a different SK Miracle, I would say, to previous rounds, in the sense that they are now actually holding up to the pressure, whereas they weren't playing that way against Jupiter. So really mixing things up, and if they can just scrape through this next round of Siege, they will take it to the 5th and final set, and that's a place that I definitely feel that we were not in going in to Heist in the previous sets.
Oh, yeah. I mean, we haven't seen a set number 5 in either of the 2 previous matches so far. So if B-boy does drop this, I think the SK Miracle would be in an amazing spot to make this comeback finally realized. But hey, fans of B-Boy have got a lot to be happy about so far. This is, once again, the match point for them, and they've been playing really well so far in game number 1 and trying to push that Magic back into the center for once again. An early kill here for B-Boy is going to be great work toward making that happen. And a double kill. Wow, B-Boy really taking the pressure on against an SK Miracle team that hasn't been able to get the setup yet. They're running Sandy. What do you make of that swap out here?
Yeah, I was just about to say, Wuhik was on the right lane, basically against Slippy, and that is just not going to dwell well for you playing Sandy. And I think as she's struggling to get a single shot off so far, I don't feel like this was the best time for SK Miracle to really be experimenting with the comp. And already, look at that. For one push early on, 25% is not a good start, and they're all bunching left side here as well. It seems like this is turning around very quickly and not in favor of SK Miracle.
Off to Never Neverland for that Sandman. B-Boy have held strong in the middle, holding court against SK Miracle, which seems to be begging just for the scraps of the bolts spawning along the outer edge. A couple of them that they've been able to pick up now, but B-Boy have barely held any depths at all, and with the second siege bot coming in from then, once again, this seems like B-Boy's match to lose, Ark.
Yeah, I really feel like Wuhik is struggling with this pick, and Sandy would not be the brawler that I would probably think to even kind of try to experiment with here. But, you know, pull promoting is good. But, you know, at the moment, B-Boy know they're in a great spot. They can just kind of hold the mid control. They haven't really got much to do. They can just take a lane, a center position here, and SK Miracle is trapped. They're completely stuck in their spawn. And if this continues, B-Boy are going to be able to absolutely smash this out of the park in the final round of Siege.
It's all on the line right here and now. SK Miracle needed to make the push happen, but they couldn't find any inroad whatsoever. Shut it down with an absolute roadblock. Denial of any access whatsoever by B-Boy. The Siege has done it. Able to get this third and final bot. That is going to be it. B-Boy will claim victory in this fourth set, and with it, the match win and the regional victory. Congratulations to B-Boy, and especially to Slippy. He's got to be my pick for MVP, Ark.
Oh, he played fantastically well, and yeah, absolutely congratulations to B-Boy. A fantastic result for them today, and they'll be taking home all that all-important prize money. But yeah, they had to work for it, but nonetheless, they were able just to comfortably, it seemed to me, finalize that game of Siege, and I think SK Miracle might be kicking themselves a little bit for some questionable brawler changes when it was kind of working in the previous rounds. But yeah, a great result today for B-Boy as we go into the stats. 62 bolts? Are you kidding me?
A massive lead for B-Boy on all three of these stat lines, and really clearly demonstrating their supremacy here today in the region. Congratulations to them. Let's send it over to Falcone for the wrap-up.
It's funny, Woody, that you say that Slippy is your choice for MVP, because funnily enough, our MVP in this incredible match for B-Boy is in fact going to be Slippy. And of course, straight away, I'm going to talk about Gem Grab. I'm going to talk about Mortis, because that play was ludicrous. Again, Woody summed this up beautifully when he was talking about it, but the audacity, the bravery that came from Slippy to slip behind the enemy lines, wait for the other team to get the gem, and then look at that, just using the super, charging back through after collecting everything. It was superb. Later on, he switched to Jean in the final game of Gem Grab, and with that final pull delivered on a golden platter to Pam, those final gems. Things got a little bit worse for them then in Heist, but finally in Siege, Slippy, as Barley was able to just prevent the enemies from getting through any of the choke points without taking a ton of damage, meaning that the other team just weren't able to get the bolts quite like B-Boy were. And there is our final result. B-Boy are going to be taking this away as the winners of the APAC group. What an incredible performance from them. Again, I thought the Jupiter were going to be dominating today. I was completely wrong. B-Boy do it again. But now let's take a look at what that actually means in terms of prize money. B-Boy are taking home a really quite nice $9,000 between the team. Jupiter are taking home $6,000. And SK Miracle, they're okay. They still get $4,000 between them. You know, we got to reward everyone for qualifying because qualifying in the first place is hard. But now, let's look at Worlds. Let's look at the leaderboard. Jupiter, 350 points. B-Boy is still quite far behind with only 180. PSG really looking like they're going to be the other qualification. I don't know that there's much B-Boy can do, even with consistent winning like that, to make it through. So really for this group, we've been looking more at prize money, and which B-Boy are not going to be complaining about that too much at all. Now, we have something a little bit different prepared for you right now. We're going to have a little video to show you right now, showing what has been going on in China. So Brawl Stars recently officially launched in China, and with it comes a whole new region of competition for our favorite esport. As you can see, a bunch of the teams gathered together for their very own monthly finals recently. Something we haven't been able to do since March, but something that it looks like they had a lot of fun doing themselves recently. Unlike the other regions, they don't join us here for our sort of global finals, but they will be joining us later in the year for the world finals. They have one slot to give away for our most elite competition later on. So every single match played here really counted. Things weren't perfect in China, as I believe one of the players from the championship team, TIG Infinity, was actually unable to travel, unfortunately, due to restrictions within the country due to illness. And that is something that we're having to face at the moment, but still, they had a really awesome tournament here. You can see some amazing goals being scored in Brawl Ball. One thing that is worth noting is that there were 3 women competing in the top 8 teams. We had Yo-Yo, Chin, and Amy. We haven't seen many women competing in the other regions in Brawl, but I am confident that that is going to change very soon. We definitely love to see some more. So hopefully there are some brawlers that are inspired by how well these women did in China. One of the biggest stories that we've had in Brawl related to China actually comes from former global champions, Nova. We see former Nova players Tom and Spen now playing for Tribe Gaming, doing very, very well in Europe. But the organization Nova now have several teams in China, including Nova China, who came 3rd in the June monthly finals. But there you have it. That is going to be all we've got from China. We can take a look at the leaderboard now, where you will see that TIG Infinity were the champions of the first monthly finals in China, followed by Nova China, they came 2nd, sorry, not 3rd, and TIG Origin in 3rd. We're going to be watching these scores very closely over the next few months, as again, the #1 team from China will be joining us here at our global finals later this year. Something that I think we're all getting increasingly excited for, especially the players who are still fighting tooth and nail to get there. Let's take a look at Europe, which is going to be our next group. This is what we got. We got Tribe Gaming, we got CODEMAGIC Purple, and we've got SK Gaming. 3 teams where, let's just say Europe is very, very interesting. We're going to take a look at their leaderboard. We're going to take a look at how close each team are from qualifying. CODEMAGIC Purple sitting on top with 340 points. They are it. They have booked their spot. At the moment, Clash EU and SK Gaming looking pretty good too, but Tribe Gaming so close in 4th place. They are the 4 teams really up to the competition here. And this is what everything means. CODEMAGIC Purple have qualified, 340 points. No other team can get that far. As you see on the right, Clash, for example, are able to gain another 30 in September and another 70 in October for a total of 390. That is the best they can do, but the other teams aren't able to overtake the 340 from CODEMAGIC Purple. Tribe Gaming, although they are in 4th place here, finding themselves a little behind SK, they're in a fantastic spot given that SK have not qualified for the next monthly finals, which means Tribe have a little bit of time to get there. But the very first match is going to be Tribe versus CODEMAGIC Purple. Everything counts for Tribe Gaming now, for Spen, for Tom, for Semantic. And this is going to be a big one. Tribe Gaming are the comeback kings of Brawl Stars. They had an extremely weak start in the first few months of the season, but they are making their way back and they're doing it with style. They keep winning, and if they continue to keep winning, they are in with a real shot to qualify for the global finals. Now that is exciting. At the end of July, Spen tweeted a photo of his new player jersey and captioned it, "So I guess I'm a pro player now." Yes, Spen, you're definitely a pro player, believe me. And it's time to show what you've got up against CODEMAGIC Purple. We've got Cursed, we've got Jeton, we've got Twisty Twick, and we've got Sun Bentley. This is the team that have already qualified. Members of CODEMAGIC Purple are typically very social creatures. They all said at the start of the season that their favorite hobby is chilling with friends. Chilling with friends hasn't been particularly easy this year, so they've had much more time than usual to focus on competition. Yeah, let's look for the silver lining here. We asked all the teams earlier in the year who they would want to add to their team if they could have anyone in the world, and the whole of CODEMAGIC Purple agreed their team is perfect the way that they are. And heck, who am I to disagree? They've already qualified. They're about to take on Tridd Gaming. Who's going to win? We'll find out in this match.
Thank you very much, Falcone. Yes, EU vibes are currently flooding the Twitch and YouTube chats, and you stuck with me, just me. I can do and say and run the show however I want. This is amazing. Yeah, a hugely important month for both Tribe, CODEMAGIC, and SK Gaming, all on the line for these teams. If you haven't followed the qualifiers, I do stream them a little bit on Twitch myself, but it was a very, very close game between Tribe Gaming and SK Gaming. Went to the very final game of Bounty in the final sets, and Tribe were just able to pull off the win. So that gave Tribe the qualification for next month, and SK Gaming didn't qualify for next month. Clash are not in this month either, so this is all to play for the entire European top leaderboard scene, and the Tribe Gaming ban is going to be Gale. The ban for CODEMAGIC Purple is going to be Siege. So similar bans to the APAC region. And, got to point out as well that CODEMAGIC Purple have been on Twitter tweeting a lot and exchanging gifts of presents and gifts. That makes me wonder what they've got up their sleeve. They've definitely been teasing that something is in the works. But the first game mode is going to be Siege. Some assembly required to kick things off. Both of these two teams, it's got to be mentioned as well, have had a very, very back and forth tournament. Tribe were a little bit late to the mark and gradually starting to gain the momentum now, and definitely still in with a very good chance of qualifying with some good results this month and next month. They can still do this. CODEMAGIC Purple have already qualified. They are really in a good spot today, but they want that prize money, and they're not going to give Tribe much chance to get at it if they can have it their way. Straight off the bat then, we're going to be seeing double Barley, double Gene, and Jackie is the only difference with the max pick for Tribe. Early on, a pull from Spen as well, but forced back very quickly by Cursed as well in a spot now, though, allowing Tribe to get some bolts in their favor. It's definitely going to be a first push, however, for CODEMAGIC, and Tribe a little bit on the back foot. Samantha getting shots off Tom, popping the gadget, then slowing the bot down a bit, and Tom forcing a super over the top as well. It's a pretty good defense. Actually, Tribe are going to leave the bot just to linger a bit there. They're going to take the damage for the meanwhile, and it's at 20%. It's not a bad amount of damage to take early on, and favoring clearly for them that mid control instead. Jeton then picks up the bolt. It's a great pull from Spen. Actually, Sun goes down there, giving Tribe a chance to take the mid. It might even be a draw here. Gonna go for the fifth, the fourth. It might be a draw. It's gonna be a level 6 push actually in favor of Tribe, which is quite surprising now. This is going to be pretty awkward for CODEMAGIC, but an early pull from Curse is actually crucial here, deflating that push, and a counter pull from Spen is great, but it is going to be less damage for Tribe as a result of that early takedown, and I've got to hand it to Curse there. That was a good observation and a good connection there, but it is now Tribe that have got the control. Despite there being 6 bolts in CODEMAGIC's pocket, Tribe have got the advantage in terms of position positioning here with 20 seconds left. It's going to be going down to the wire here as somebody takes a lot of damage on the right hand side.
CODEMAGIC Purple Ark, they need to actually come back into this one because they're being hooked in by Spen. There's the nice knockback from the Gadget. And they've got a nice bolt lead here. They've got 8 bolts over to 4. And they're just going up to the last siege with 25 seconds remaining. They got that initial kill onto the enemy team. And there's a level 8 siege bot coming in. They need to get at least 2% on the damage. And they will walk away with the first round here, Ark. So it's not too much of a tall order. Now they're finally going to get that connection onto the Ike. Starts where the CODEMAGIC Purple have done enough. And they're going to walk away with the first round.
BM's flying early on with the sad face from CODEMAGIC Purple. So game 1 in the bag, but it's still very early days. Look at the trophies, mate. I just add there as well in that final end screen. Worth to mention that actually Spen has been pushing a lot on ladder recently, reaching global #1, accompanied by Curse as well for that push, and various other pro players involved in that, both of age for the tournament and below age. Drage was helping a lot with that push, Tom as well, and a lot of these players have done a really fantastic job worthy of pointing out this month, and in previous months they're pushing very, very high on these leaderboards.
Yeah, so they're going to keep obviously looking to do that, especially at the monthly final where it all matters, because Ark in EU at least, there is still one more slot available, and there's a little bit of contention between these teams over who's going to take that final slot.
Yeah, this is it. CODEMAGIC Purple have qualified. That is confirmed in the points. There's nothing that's going to affect that. But what CODEMAGIC do in terms of how they affect the other teams advancing in this competition is going to make a big, big difference. If they are to force a win over Tribe right now, that's going to be and have a massive impact on how Tribe are able to advance in this competition.
Well, we're jumping into map number 2 right now, and Tribe need to get a win on the board here. The Jackie's going to roll out from Jeton. He looks forward. Semantic on the Frank as well, so hoping to find some value from that in this next engagement. Been pulled already by Curse, wasn't able to find that bolt. Jen's going to get away with that one and start building up that bolt lead for CODEMAGIC Purple.
Spen has super here. It's going to be looking to pull, but it might be going probably for, well, I thought Jeton, but Jeton was healing really nicely and Semantic not able to connect. So actually, it's a good time for Spen to pull now early on, but not really able to get the distance, and might then even go, depending upon how this bot goes down in terms of damage for a bot pull, but actually Semantic tanking nicely there is going to mean that he will keep it. But we saw this in the last round. Tribe did take the first push. And there's the pull that Smell was looking for, and it connected with Curse. A great moment for Tribe to capitalize, but Semantic didn't quite connect with that super, and that could prove costly.
Yeah, they're also having a difficulty where they destroyed part of their own territory, so it will make it slightly easier for the members of CODEMAGIC Purple to get onto their Ike. Great pull there by Spen again, pulls him into range of the Ike. And we'll go ahead and take a lot of damage for it. This is Tribe Gaming's opportunity to come back into this one. They should be able to get the next siege.
Yeah, great to see Spen hitting these consistent pulls as Gene. It's a brawler which he loves to play, and especially in Siege does bring up from time to time if it's not on the ban list, but it is still continuous pressure being placed upon them by CODEMAGIC Purple. Samantha trying to connect, didn't connect with Curse or Jeton, but did go for the attempt. The thought was there, but it is going to be another push, and actually not a bad defense from Tribe there.
Yeah, great pull again there to start things off right into this final Siege phase. Tribe have already got 8 bots behind them, so they just able to win out here, stop CODEMAGIC Purple from closing that gap. They should be able to walk away here quite comfortably. 2 supers going to be committed there for 1 kill, so a little bit of desync there between Spen and Semantic. They're still going to get enough bots for the last siege. 27% is all they need to try and walk away with the victory here, but they're going to give a nice little lead from Tom with the barley.
Look at Curse's position here, very smart, but actually going to take that by Semantic. What Curse was trying to do was force forwards on the map to pull the bot, to delay the timer there, but it was shut down really smartly so by Semantic, and now the pressure on for CODEMAGIC Purple to defend, and it's not going to be enough because Tribe have managed to do it in the final push. It's not over yet. This first set is still all to play for as Tribe will draw in the games.
Yeah, able to absolutely demolish that Ike at the end there. The bot was too powerful, and I completely agree with you, Ark. They were definitely trying to burn down the clock further into the field than they were close to their Ike, and correctly punished by Tribe to make sure they got max value out of that last siege.
Yeah, again, I've got to hand it to Curse. It was a really smart idea there, because we've seen that in Siege a few times this tournament, where if you're playing Gene, if you get right in that bottom right corner and just kind of like lock yourself down, you can like let the bot push up to about halfway and then just drag it all the way back. And if you're then able to tank the damage at the other end, the timer runs out before the bot's actually able to connect. So it was a really good idea, but it didn't quite pay off this time around for CODEMAGIC Purple.
Well, we've got a couple of seconds left before we jump into our final round of Siege, and we're hoping to have that fixed up ready for you. Got to also talk about the solo cast you did there. Ark, apologies on that one. There was some technical issues on my end, and I didn't want to interrupt your flow, so it took a little bit longer for you to come back in. I started listening for a little bit.
I was surprised you stayed awake, Tridd. No, I thought I'd just kind of keep talking until you, but I left a couple of gaps, but then, you know, these things happen. It's one of the things that we're actually like doing, I would say, a really fantastic job of coping with COVID and the way things have gone. I've got to point out that, you know, for this tournament to even continue on any level was a massive achievement by both Supercell and ESL. So huge shout out to them for doing everything they've done, because you guys watch at home and it's all polished, and but in the background, so many people have got and put so much time into making the production continue. So a massive shout out to them. But the first push is from Tribe this time round.
Quite big as well, actually. A lot of value done for such a low-level siege bot there.
Yeah, 40% is nothing to shy away from. And Jetson going to Frank in this game, I feel like might not be working out too well for CODEMAGIC Purple. So I'm betting going to go down as well. And this is all Tribe right now, Tridd.
Yeah, they've got absolute control over this one. The bot lead's building back up for them again. They're really struggling to crack through the defense of just raw damage that's being put out by the members of Tribe.
Yeah, it's an interesting change of events. We saw semantic change from Frank to Spike, and I got a feeling that was actually part of the plan. You know, like I feel like Jetson's kind of matched that Frank pick that Semantic was using, and then as a result, Semantic's gone, you know what, I'm going to counter you in prediction of you changing, and this is really interesting to see.
Yeah, so 33% alive for CODEMAGIC Purple. That's all they got left in terms of HP. This last siege needs to be huge, and they've not been able to wrestle this control away from Tribe. So I'm struggling to see how they're going to get the bolts needed to actually mount some kind of offense.
I've got to say, this is a massive turning point for Tribe. At the beginning of this first set, they looked definitely to be struggling, and now in the third game, they're very much the other way around and dominating this final game. They're surely going to take this first set. Yeah,
it's absolutely over. There's nothing that CODEMAGIC Purple can do to close this gap, and they've got a level 10 siege bot coming at them. First map going the way of Tribe Gaming, so they will take the 1-0 lead in this series so far.
Yeah, what a great start, and definitely the start that Tribe wanted to get inside the minds of CODEMAGIC Purple and play on that early on is crucial. We've seen very, very big matchups between these two teams in the past, and it has gone either way. They're so closely matched. It's either been CODEMAGIC Purple or Tribe, pretty much 50-50 all the way. So to get that early lead is so important for Tribe early on.
Absolutely, and have a look at a few replays on the screen right now, in particular this last map, and really smart mind games there by Tribe to predict the Jet on Frank pick, as you touched on so eloquently, Ark, and switch over to something that could stay at range and deal with it safely, such as the spike. So Tribe Gaming not being put on the back foot here, absolutely dominating the stat line as well across the entire set. So great start for this team, and yeah, they're in a good position where they're contesting a team that's already qualified for the World Finals, so it can mean nothing but good things for this roster.
Yeah, absolutely. And the next game mode that will determine that will be Deeper Danger. The game mode will be Bounty, sorry. And this will bring out some different brawlers. I would imagine we're going to see some Mr. P here. He's very, very good at seeking out the opposition inside those bushes. The bans, if you're just joining, are Gale and Surge. So unfortunately, not going to see any of Surge yet. We've yet to see Surge today. He is a playable option for players, but he has been banned in every single game that we've witnessed so far, so I'm gonna have to wait a little bit to see whether he comes out later. But yeah, it's got to be mentioned, Tridd, like you said earlier, again, like how important this is for Tribe. To get a win against CODEMAGIC, who have already qualified, is crucial for them. They are just behind SK Gaming on the leaderboards in 4th place. Clash are in 2nd place, so it really is now a battle between those 3 teams to secure their spots. There are 3 places to earn for the World Finals, and Tribe absolutely want a piece of that cake.
Yeah, they have to keep themselves in contention by taking away map wins wherever they can get them from, and if they can take down CODEMAGIC, who supposedly, by the numbers, will be one of the harder opponents to take down. It does bode well for them in future. Set number 2, we're heading into Bounty. Have a look at the teams. We got ourselves a Slambulance coming in for Tribe, and something a little different for CODEMAGIC Purple.
This is so different. We got double thrower on one side, the Primo as well instead of the Rosa here. I feel is Tribe saying we're feeling like the bushes are going to be taken down quickly, so we're going to go with Primo to try to close the gap in those situations where there's a bit of a spawn trapper involved. But yeah, very different comps to what I was expecting here, Tridd.
Well, Primo's into the back line, but he's being forced out. So much damage and attention being paid towards him. I'm struggling to see what he can get done. Some Bentley will take him out of the back line. He's bought enough time for Spen and Tom to catch up, and they're picking up kills on the exit, so they're able to balance out the stars for the time being. It's about whether they can get a lead. They're playing this all committal on Semantic to be a distraction and a threat, and then they try and follow him up. That might not always work.
It might not always work, and it might also lead to kind of feeding, which eventually will lead to more supers being able to be thrown at Tribe in that sense. And Tick, I have my eyes on Tick here really. Tom is going to struggle to take down that Tick head if left alone, and Semantic as well being such close ranged. It's going to be kind of all down to Spen to deal with that. But look at this, actually, a bit of a push coming in from Tribe. The spawn push trap there is definitely lighting up their eyes, and it's drawn stars right now. So an interesting aggression that we're seeing from Tribe. They want to get this first game round in their favor.
Better down the clock a little bit longer. 20 seconds remaining. Could see a tie if nothing happens, but here's some aggression coming out from Tribe. They cut off the retreat for them, and that head first will take connection on Spen. Semantic is incredibly low. He's cut off from support. Tom's going to be the one to go down. They need to get kills here. Spen's going to go in. He finds it just with the raw damage. That 1-star advantage enough, but Semantic's at risk of going down. They want to go for the kill onto him. There's a 3-star difference. They can equalize out for the draw. They find it at the end. And Cursed will find the draw needed for CODEMAGIC. So we're going to do that all over again.
I gotta say, Tridd, like, for me, Semantic he could have jumped away from the spawn. Spen had the kill in the bag and gave Tribe the lead. There was really no need to continue the aggression. He could have used it in a more defensive manner, but I guess maybe then just not really fully aware of the gravity of that, and as a result, we're doing this all again.
Yeah, so we'll jump into another attempt at Bounty as soon as we can. Semantic just getting caught out there at the end. Cursed able to lock him in a box effectively and stop his movements with the tick. And there we have the tied score of 10 stars apiece. I do not know whether there will be changes coming in. I understand your point about bringing in the Primo instead of the Rosa, because we don't know about the longevity of the brush and it makes it harder. But I feel as though the Primo didn't get much damage done. It was more of a distraction. Maybe they want to swap out their beefier unit to something that can actually contribute towards these kills.
I couldn't agree more, 100%. Primo for me is not in a great place in the meta right now in any way. I could see the idea of closing the gap, I think, was what that was trying to be aimed towards, so that you could kind of like, you know, really force back CODEMAGIC Purple. If you've got your super, you can just kind of flash it and say, look, I've got it, I can jump at any moment, and that will encourage the spawn trap. But I think that's where, for me, the comp was undermined. They're not going to change it. They're going to keep with the Primo pick, Tridd.
Well, they even lost early star control as well, so they're on the back foot, and Semantic's about to go down. Great flip on Curse, but he just gets pushed into the spawn. And now they're looking for Spen to go in. There's that first kill to equalize, so all reliable, Spen going in there and saving the day. The retreat's been cut off, but the damage is not there from CODEMAGIC to capitalize.
In a way, though, it's kind of working there. I mean, I think Semantic got a little bit of a sore trade-off there. The gadget use, I get the idea of trying to bring CODEMAGIC Purple with a nice suplex over the head in towards Tribe teammates there. But gotta be said, Tribe are getting a lot of spawn traps as a result of their comp, and so far it seems to be paying off a little bit in favor of Tribe.
But for the time being, the CODEMAGIC have got that lead in the stars now. They've got 1 star over Tribe. Can't get too close to Spen. He's trading damage with Jeton. That's going to force them to go back. That tanky unit, once that starts to fall, the angles get closed down for CODEMAGIC. Here comes the offensive. He's in a great position to use a super. Great turnaround from Jeton there. The Semantic goes in, tries to split the fight with his super, the flip over the top. Still finding the kills over for Tribe Gaming, but it's 10-9, and Semantic is not allowed to leave. That's what we wanted to see from game one. The fast escape with the elbow drop, a Cursed again catches him on the exit.
It was great for Semantic. I really do like what I'm seeing in terms of the plays, but again, just not able to get out quick enough. Spen will get a kill, but it's still not enough to close the deficit. And now Tribe are going to go on the aggression once again, instead of retreating when they had the lead. And this might be costly for them, but the pinches are good. Tribe are getting great spawn traps. And again, we're seeing it with this comp. Here we go again. Spen with the pull.
Double pull him in. It was good enough. They've locked him in. They're tying out 21-17. If Kurz can get a turnaround kill here, it might be enough. They found the one. They won't get the star. And Semantic escapes with his life. Tribe pull away that first round win.
Actually, I might be going out on a limb. Possibly one of my favorite plays of maybe the entire tournament there. Semantic just absolutely went to town, punishing every single player in CODEMAGIC Purple, and as soon as he had the super, jumping on the next one, getting super, jumping on the next one. What an amazing finale to that round, and the Primo was the star of the show.
Surprisingly, considering we had his stocks down incredibly low, and then he suddenly had like a nice pump of value, and now everyone's wishing they would have hodled that, but apparently it's not enough. Semantic there, the punishment you were talking about, Ark, in the replays right at the end. Did a fantastic job to find that value and gets out. That was the most important thing. If he could adapt and find himself to escape with the stars, then Tribe Gaming will walk away with the victory. So that's only game number 1 of Bounty. We still have potentially 2 more to go, minimum. Guaranteed to see at least 1 more. So let's be thankful for that one.
And this is the thing for me that this is why I love Brawl Stars in terms of esports, because the players just continue to surprise me. I think that, you know, bringing out the Primo pick, which was obviously the result of the last game, much to do with the reason why the draw was the case, but and then thinking they're making the same mistake again, and that was the key to winning that game. So it just keeps me on the edge of my seat with every single game, and like you say, there's still potentially 2 more games of Bounty to go. We're far from out of this set yet.
Yeah, we've still got a long way to go with this one, but I wouldn't want it any other way when it comes down to the EU teams. Got a lot of love for Tribe because of the UK representation. I'm sure you do as well, Ark. We can't let that too much. You can have a brief mention every now and then.
Okay, yeah. I mean, in terms of nationality, we're definitely biased there for sure. But yeah, I mean, CODEMAGIC definitely have got a very, very strong roster. That's the thing, and you know, regardless as to where players are from, it's a team effort, and I think that CODEMAGIC Purple are absolutely going to give Tribe a run for their money, and might make some changes here in the next round. We'll have to wait and see.
All right, well, we've got Tom now onto the Sprout instead, so they're going to run with a mirror composition. Actually, the Slamulets coming out from CODEMAGIC this time, so complete mirror of what we've seen in the past.
I actually prefer this Slamulets with the Rosa. For me, that's a better kind of advantage there. And actually, let's look at so actually the only players that can break bushes in terms of Tribe is the Gene with a pull and Tom with a super. So they'll be looking to do that because that will take away Kurtz's advantage. A missed pull from Spen early on is going to put Tribe in a difficult spot here, Tridd.
This is really good here. You saw that Semantic was able to use his super to pull Jeton away, and he's going to try and build it up again. He's buying more time for Tom and Spen to deal with this, but a kill is a kill in the eyes of CODEMAGIC. Great pull there, equalizes. So I guess that's the play if you're Tribe. Try and kite away the aggression, minimize your losses, and then go on a counterattack, and that's exactly what they've done.
Yeah, I was actually really worried because it looked to me like the mother of all spawn traps, but it did seem that Tribe are turning it around, and they're continuing to turn it around and looking very comfortable right now in terms of taking down these opportunities that CODEMAGIC are trying to create with these spawn traps. It is a really, really good start for Tribe.
Nearly there. Super's online for CODEMAGIC Purple. They're going to want to try and get the pinch sorted again. Jeton been forced to initiate now. Curse moves forward. Gadget use from Spen to buy some time. Jeton has isolated Tom in the back right corner. That's easy pickings, but Semantic walks forward, passes over a boatload of stars to Curse for Spen to pick up, and Tom's still alive! Ow! He's just locked himself in a corner, and now Jeton is going to go down as well. Unbelievable. Tom just like saying, nope, if you can't see me, I can't see you. You're not a problem. Hide.
I'm safe in my space.
Yeah, basically what happened. Great pull again to kick things off. Now Semantic can pop the super, pull them together. Spen is the target of your CODEMAGIC. A kill on him should be enough, but no! He's gonna burn through them. A 10-star difference, and Tribe Gaming close out the set.
Fantastic plays from Tribe. I've got to say that for me, a lot of the opportunities came from Spen with the pulls. Kirst was always in a spot when he was low, Spen was looking to pull. There we see it there. Even with that super trying to get away, it was always about damaging Kirst to get that HP down to a reasonable level and then getting the gene pool to suck him in to get those stars. A lot of the interactions there I felt came from those pulls from Spen.
Yeah, Spen did a fantastic job there. Once again, I'm just surprised Tom was able to stay alive in that little corner.
I think, to be fair, the worst brawler to be faced off against in that circumstance is the Jackie. So the kill was actually made, but nonetheless, it denied the ability for him to kind of retreat, and as a result, tried to pick up the kill. And here we see a big difference on the kills to death ratio. Tribe definitely much more in favor of that, despite actually more damage on the CODEMAGIC Purple side of things. So the kills are what matters, though.
So I'll explain that by just by brawler picks, because you got to remember we had 2 rounds of Slambulance in favor of Tribe and 1 round in favor of CODEMAGIC Purple. There's a lot more HP in a Slambulance comp that can burn through without getting kills confirmed. So that is why CODEMAGIC has more. Not necessarily indicative of gameplay, it's indicative of composition.
Really nice insight.
We smart. We smart.
Big brain. Big brain.
Big brain.
Triple Dribble is the next map. Brawl, very, very different to Bounties, so these players will have to adjust. They'll have to rethink going into their strategies here, because you know, Bounties very much about being aggressive and defensive in equal measure. Brawl much more about control and seizing the opportunity.
Well, let's see what happens then. So we've got the Carl, the Gene, the Max, mirror compositions for both Tribe and CODEMAGIC Purple to kick things off.
Yeah, definitely in kind of coordination to what we've seen similar in the APAC region earlier today. Good to see Carl as well making an appearance. I think it's actually a really, really good map for Carl. We might even see Tribe consider it in the next games to follow. But right now, the action is here. And Semantic with a...
Oh my god, right up! Oh my god, what reactions there from Kirst and some Bentley. They nearly got away with that one in defending it. But they just moved at a drop of a hat. Tribe hit the go button and scored that first goal.
It found a gap, and it was a great pass, it has to be said. But now, actually, a bit more on the back foot as all 3 members of CODEMAGIC Purple advancing in the pool there is great. And that should allow, actually, Tribe to push back as Tom is actually cancelled. So much back and forth in those interactions there. But Tribe on a bit of a push here.
They're just going to pass the ball away and wait for them to get all 3 members online. Here comes Tom with the respawns. He's going to look for the contest. Got a super online now. Great pull once again by Spen, opening it all up for Tribe. Semantic dashes in to close down the sightlines. Just Jeton left by him is lonesome. They're going to pop the speed boost and wait for the respawn. So he did lose one in the process. Great response there by Jeton to take one with him. And they will stop the momentum from Tribe.
Yeah, pocketing the ball then for CODEMAGIC Purple is it's an option here, but I think that they need to find the space to move up, and Kirst does pull Tom, gets taken down though at the same time as a result of low HP here, and now Tribe are looking for the gap past the Spen, could be good to Semantic, but not quite able to make something happen there.
Yeah, there's too many members there. Tom can't quite find the entry to get in there with his super. Spen finally pulled away. That's finally a good pull from Kirst. I was concerned at how he was using his super, considering that he was isolated and wanted to take a fight. In stark contrast to what we see from Spen, who's always pulling when he's got support around him. And finally got caught out by that one as they're being boxed in by CODEMAGIC Purple. Jeton going to dodge that ball. He's going to go in with the super. Great cancel there from Spen to stop the damage coming in, but they're still going to get the kill. And they're going to remove him. Kirst can walk this one in. CODEMAGIC Purple going to equalize with 20 seconds left.
Yeah, it was literally then or not really at all, in that capitalization of Spen's mispull, and again another mispull could be costly for Tribe here as CODEMAGIC Purple looking for an opportunity, but Sun low has to retreat, and actually could be a great chance and positioning here for Tribe to capitalize as we go into overtime, Tridd.
Yeah, no more boxes, no more terrain. Waiting for the full strength to come back. Who's going to get super passes online first? Semantic going to pop his super on cooldown. Get everyone moving fast. Kirst ready to go. Gets the hook onto Tom. Pulls him into the middle. No response there, so they have a man advantage. Somebody with a pass. Jeton, he's offside, but that's not a real thing in Brawl Ball. They're waiting for the respawn to come back. Spen, he made ball to pass time. They passed it off to the side. And Jeton gets it around Tom. So they will go and get that first game win.
What a placement from Jetson. I actually kind of wondered whether it was going to make it into the goal or be one of those unfortunate moments of a miss. What under pressure as well. What an incredible final minute goal from CODEMAGIC Purple. But I've got to say, I did feel like Tridd, for the most part, were playing very well. But just a couple of missed gene pools kind of led to a bit of a tricky situation on defense.
Yeah, absolutely. It's not just like the missed gene pools as well. I just want to talk about the gene pools in general. I feel as though Cursed not giving up to his usual name, not living up to the standard he set. A couple of reasons for that. We saw gene pools when he was isolated, so he couldn't capitalize on a kill. He decided he was going to pull in a Carl with super and immediately got deleted for it. So any kind of pick potential you had was turned around because you just immediately lost your life. Yeah, you get the Carl eventually when your teammate comes in, but you're trading, not taking victories there. So yeah, disappointing from Curse so far with his gene. I expect better of him, and I'm sure he's going to deliver more as the series goes on.
Actually, it's normally Jetson that takes the lead for Gene. Jetson's actually one of the most notorious genes in the EU, and I think just in general for me, CODEMAGIC Purple are not kind of working as a unit. What we've seen so much in the past and what CODEMAGIC Purple do so well is they work as a team, but that's kind of what we're seeing more from Tribe today, and those takedowns being worked on as a unit. And I feel like CODEMAGIC Purple are trying to get kills as individuals and not as a unit.
Well, hopefully they can bring it together as we head into the second game of Brawl Ball. Cursed has the ball early, forces back Spen and Semantic to try and free up some Bentley's path of attack. No kills yet, so they can't really do too much with this space they've been given.
Yep, Spen gets the kill, low on health though, but able to survive on here, and Semantic should help with this takedown for Jetson.
Yeah, they're going to box him in. Respawns come in. They're going to leave the ball where it is and get territorial control. They know that Spen can just bring the ball up from the rear as long as they control the space.
Yeah, exactly. Tom with a nice hit on Curse as he tries to come in. Curse will be looking to pull here and maybe choosing to break some of this cover in the process. Does get the ball, a joint pull on Spen and Curse, but it's actually Spen that survives, and Curse takes a beating there as that interaction goes down. And now Tribe will be looking to get this in the goal early on here, and Tom has to. That's going to be a great opportunity to capitalize if they can just eradicate some of this HP in this push.
Yeah, Dash is being traded out by the Maxes. They're going to speed boost in. Tom's got the advantage he needs to go in on top of Curse. Misses the first pickaxe. The hammer is there. He's just going to just burn through them. Pass over to Tom. He's going to try and walk this one in through Jeton, but he just walks in there. How does he get away with that? He gave the ball to Jeton. I think did Jeton pass it back?
Yeah, it was actually a bit of an awkward interaction as that almost cost Tribe the goal, but a pull from Spen early will deflate this early push. But Spen with a dash! Oh my goodness me, that actually almost resulted in a goal, and Tom is the lone survivor now and looking to see... he's going to retreat. Yeah, Curse is super. There's not really much he can
not
do.
Not entirely. He's just getting the ball into the back corner, and he's going to allow the rest of the teammates to come in, pull Tom in. Curse nearly loses his life again. They can just wait. They have the advantage. They have the goal lead at present. Just see how they pan it out. Jetson's going to bounce it off the side, move it in. Some Bentley and Curse unable to follow up right now. They are quite low on HP. Super pass. Hardly squeeze it in! No, Tom! Oh, Tom, you used the super. You can't touch a ball. You can't block a ball like that, my friend. And that's exactly what Jeton knew when he triggered the super pass.
Incredible from Jeton to spot that moment of opportunity was fantastic. But now Tribe looking to ask not enough, and now Semantic all on his own here, and CODEMAGIC Purple can smell it in their mouths here. Curse on his own a bit though, and not it doesn't work.
Hey, overtime, he's got a super pass, he just squeezed it through! Cursed gets the ball in, and that is going to be our second set going the way of CODEMAGIC Purple.
I cannot believe some of those plays in that game. There was amazing opportunities created by CODEMAGIC Purple. The shot from Jeton to spot the Tommel supering was a really good observation. And then the pass to the wall for Curse to get the takedown, to then time it so perfectly with overtime, was nothing short of perfection from CODEMAGIC Purple.
He just immediately, as soon as the boxes break, he just takes the shot, gets it around the sides, able to weave that one in. And CODEMAGIC were behind in terms of damage. There are times of kills. We're struggling to keep up with Tribe, but they found efficient use of the time they were given when they had man advantages.
Yeah, and like, you know, it's not an easy thing when you're behind on a goal, and that was what CODEMAGIC Purple were faced up against. They had to come back quickly. They've got through that round, and now Sandy Gems Heist is a dangerous game mode to be at such a late stage in the sets, because with base races and unpredictability here, I think it's fair to say that Heist is a more challenging game mode for teams to have any kind of real assertiveness over without... There's always some risk with whether you're going to go on the aggressive or the defensive, and whether you're doing one when you should be doing the other.
Yeah, they're going to have to find that balance quite nicely as we move into this next round, Ark. 2-1 scoreline in favor of Tribe, so they just need to win this set and they can go ahead and walk away with the first victory of the EU region. CODEMAGIC Purple, they started their reverse sweep. It's now time to commit and finish it one. Let's head over to the heist mode, and this is looking pretty much peak Tribe right now. You got the Max, you got the Spike, and also bringing the Brock to the field. Jeton's going over to the Rico instead of the Spike, but other than that, it's a mirror comp.
Yeah, I do like Rico. I do have a bit of a soft spot for Rico on Heist. I do like playing it myself, but it is a bit of a riskier choice. He's a bit squidgier in terms of his HP, and if Tom can land those shots, if they keep it on that same lane, then it's going to be a difficult position. But here, Justin getting some great moments. He does get the takedown on Tom as well, and now the damage will be rolling in for CODEMAGIC Purple.
Oh, no, Tom. You need to be winning those against Jeton. You could close those gaps fast. Gonna bounce it off the wall, need to clear out the box. No damage given to CODEMAGIC safe right now. They're too busy trying to break through this line and deal with Jeton. They've done just that, but now Curse is in position. He's got a super online. He's gonna try and speed out of this one and get back to deal with Spen, who's now got open line on the safe. In fact, he's not got open line on the safe. No one can touch it yet.
I love the way Curse was just dancing with those max gadgets there, but for me, it feels like CODEMAGIC Purple have got a bit more control, and Jeton now using Roman Retreat there, that star power to get a takedown and Spread as well, and just evading. I've got to hand it to CODEMAGIC Purple. The evasion that we're seeing right now is very much with them as opposed to Tribe.
It's been fantastic so far. Finally, some damage being dealt onto the CODEMAGIC safe by Semantic, who snuck whack in there. Some Bentley will deal with him. They're keeping around Spen at the moment. They don't want to let him get through with that Rocket Rain, and now some Bentley is going to use it. Has to use the gadget to escape Curse from Tom. Point blank range. Using the gadget to get away, and will get taken down by Semantic. Man advantage for Tribe as they've got a 3-1 right now. They have to convert this into damage on the safe, but they're not in range just yet. Cursed. He's going to have to try and get out and defend this one, and there's no conversion at the moment, Ark.
Yeah, playing the slow game here, I feel like they were in a good spot, but they are just continuously going for kills to get a monster push, and they do need to kind of adopt that strategy here as they are behind. Spen getting some trickle damage, but now I feel like they just lost a bit of that momentum. They were in a great spot to kind of try to get this one locked down and finished, and now they're still a little bit behind, but not nearly as much here. But Jeton on the right-hand side now going in, might be able to get some damage. Curse on his own. This is going to be a bit of a race here, Tridd.
I don't know. It's 2-1 in terms of the race. I don't think Tom's got the damage to out-damage them. And they've still got to get rid of some Bentley until the end right now. Reinforcements coming back in to try and help. There's too much of a lead, I feel. I don't think there's going to be a way that Tribe Gaming come back into this one. They're closing the gap as best they can. They did it! What? What?
Eat your words, Tridd. What an amazing final display from Tribe. Just when you think it's all over, they come back strong. I can't believe that.
That comeback raised octaves in my voice that I didn't know I had, Ark. Completely caught off guard by that. They just been able to get it in, not body blocking. Spen, 56 HP before he went down. And that was kept the duration of the Rocket Rain online for him to close that gap. If he would have gone down, that would not have gone their way. Tribe Gaming had no right winning that game, and now they move into the second of this set.
In that replay, I saw the best instance of instant karma. I think there was correct me if I'm wrong, but I think I saw a sad face pin emote from CODEMAGIC Purple, and it couldn't have been turned around faster. My goodness me, they're going to have to recover from this in this next game, or this could be a bit of a sweep going on, Tridd.
Yeah, Semantic has turned into the Carl this time around rather than the Spike. He's already found great value. It's having a much better time of clearing out these lurkers in the base of Tribe. And now they can push forward. They've closed this gap significantly, and they're keeping more on track with CODEMAGIC Purple than they were in the previous round.
Yeah, that finale on that last game is definitely going to give them a bit of a boost here, and we are seeing a much better display of control from Tribe and taking their lanes and kind of they look like they're in control right now. They're shutting down CODEMAGIC Purple before they get out of the spawn, forcing Curse to use the speed to push through here, and if they can just kind of maintain this, it's a great place for them to be.
Great reactions there by Kirsch, uses the gadget to get out of range of Semantic. Kills coming in for some. Bentley uses the gadget immediately afterwards. Now he's straight onto the safe. Semantic's caught between a rock and a hard place. He needs the help from Spen. Meanwhile, while this is going on, Tom has been trading out damage on the back line to keep him in it. But they've not cleared out the members of CODEMAGIC. In fact, they're losing more lives. Rocket Rain over the top, and Kirst is coming in for the killing blow. CODEMAGIC Purple equalize the set.
Wow, for me, Sunbenic did a great job there, staying so far within the Tribe terrain and staying alive on such low HP, and I feel like that definitely allowed a nice dynamic between him and his teammates to get that pressure there and just continuously pound the Tribe safe, and a great comeback. CODEMAGIC Purple displaying that despite taking a really nasty defeat in that fight in that previous round, able to stay on top in this round.
Yeah, fantastic showing from them, and now we've got our deciding round of Heist to come into play. We have seen a Heist draw, very rare, but it can happen, and I know it can as we jump into game number 3. Taking a look at the compositions, they're going to bring Spen out on a Rico of their own to match the comp.
Yeah, and worthy to mention again, we are on match point. I kind of actually almost forgot that Tribe are on match point. So now the pressure is definitely with CODEMAGIC Purple. Tribe with a good early takedown on both Chetan and Cursed, and now pummeling damage onto the safe.
Yeah, Spen able to get in there as well, just to make great use of the window they created. This is more that capitalization we wanted to see from Tribe in game 1 and 2. And they're not missing a beat when it comes to game 3. Semantic getting the first kill, 2 kills down. Tribe needs some HP and then they'll start walking forward. Jeton caught as well! A team wipe and the rocket range shall be used. The safe is now fundamentally exposed.
I like the strategy from Tribe. They're not going all in to kind of like, they're trying to focus on just staying alive. And you're seeing Cursed and Sun going down and Jetson going down. And now this is the opportunity that Tribe want to bury CODEMAGIC Purple today. As early on as this, 40% damage is a great lead with 1 minute 30 left on the clock.
Able to cover for Spen there to shut down the offensive coming out. Jeton unable to stop Spen either. He's just been able to get range. Will finally find that shot that he needed as he'll take him out, but 39% to 90, the definitive lead in favor of Tribe as Cursed cannot win this duel against Tom. And Semantic has to back off for now. He needs more health.
Yeah, Tribe being very, very aware of their HP, and I can't really say, to be honest, the same for CODEMAGIC Purple right now, as we are seeing far more deaths occurring and low HP all round, and this is what's giving Tribe the chance to push, and push they are. A bit of a push from CODEMAGIC Purple here, but it's not really availing to anything, Tridd.
No, it's not at all, and now they're just back onto the safe again. Spen and Semantic have such range to play with. It's hard for CODEMAGIC to get in here. 29% to 88. Semantic going to get a few final shots before he goes in for a respawn. Now Bentley going to do exactly the same, but if they go for a base race, CODEMAGIC will lose it. And it's Tom and Spen, they're on the safe, it's all over! One more shot, body blocking from Curse, buys enough time, but the rocket sneaks in from Semantic. Tribe Gaming take down CODEMAGIC Purple.
What a story to start the day for the EU side of things. A great and very important victory for Tribe Gaming as they are fighting in 4th place on our leaderboards to qualify. This is a huge, huge result, and now all eyes are absolutely going to be on Tribe Gaming's game against SK Gaming, which I believe is coming up next.
Yeah, we'll see how that pans out for them. Look at the stats. Tribe all over that one. Damage, safe damage, and kills all in favor of Tribe over the course of that set. So they were able to pull out with the victory at the end there. Great bit of work from them. We're going to throw it to Falcone. He's going to take us through to the next series.
I referred to these guys earlier as the comeback kings, and oh my goodness, they definitely are that. Yeah, okay, Tribe have really pulled it out of the bag for the second half of this season. Spen is going to be our MVP for this match, and partially due to the breadth of brawlers that he played as, but also, You know, every single limb on Siege counts. That respawn timer is a killer when you're trying to get those bolts. There was no fragger better in Siege than Spen, pulling his enemies into the range of his Ike to consistently take them out. He started Bounty with Jackie and then switched back to Jean, once again getting those huge bursts of damage and guaranteeing a limbs with some excellent Jean pulls. Finally, he switched over to Rico eventually in Heist and played his very own little game of keep away from my safe while pushing forwards into the enemy safe at the same time as soon as he had a chance, wailing on that safe later on in the match. It was an incredibly well-deserved win, and the whole team at Tribe Gaming played out of their minds. There were huge moments there for Semantic and Tom as well. Really well played. Tribe Gaming, they are really proving what they've got over the last few months, and I hope to see it continue. I think they've become a little bit of a fan favorite, and with good reason. There is some crazy consistency here. But let's take a look at the group and see how that game reflects the match overall, or the group overall. Tribe sitting with a 3-1 set score. And now the question lies with SK Gaming, because CODEMAGIC Purple have already qualified. Yeah, okay, they wanted to win, they wanted the prize money, but they have qualified. It's not the end of the world for them. But for SK Gaming, they need to be taking Tribe down. They need to be winning this group. They have not qualified for the next monthly finals. They need to be winning this month. They need to be taking Tribe down. So this may be the most impactful match in the whole of Europe that we've seen so far. I mentioned briefly earlier, but Tom and Spen were both part of Nova, the current Brawl Stars World Champions. They've come together with Semantic this year, and they're getting closer and closer to getting back to Worlds. The next few months are very important. Tribe Gaming is also a fully British team, something that Tridd referenced briefly earlier. 3 out of 4 members of our talent team is also British. Is that a coincidence? Well, actually, yes, it is. But it does make a nice change to see some British esports teams doing well. Keep it up, Tribe. On the other side of things, we've got SK Gaming. And as I've said several times now, and I'm going to continue to say it, this match is important. These teams are neck and neck in their race to qualify. But when we asked about this team's experience with esports, about YDE's experience, he claimed, "I was born to play Brawl Stars." These are some big words. If he's calling that out, I expect to see results. Tridd, Woody, let's see a match.
So excited for this next one. This is not just the most important match we've seen in a while for the region, but for the entire world. Tribe Gaming and SK are neck and neck right now, and this is going to be the moment that will potentially decide which team goes to the World Finals.
Woody, I'm looking at the bans. There's no Surge been banned. We're probably going to end up seeing him in play for the first time at this monthly final. That'll be something to see.
I am really excited to see him surging into action. One of the most popular, strongest brawlers, and neither team locked him out. We're going to be starting off in Canal Grande, where it's all about the bounty stars racking up as many kills as possible. Is this an opportunity for Surge to make his way onto the field?
Well, if you can get that longevity, start racking up those stacks and empowering yourself, absolutely, Woody. You want to stay alive as long as possible on Surge to get maximum potential out of him. Exactly what you want to do in Bounty, so it's a perfect map to bring someone like that to the field. And already, without a doubt, the debut, we've got Semantic rolling out on it for Tribe, and then when we look towards SK Gaming, Skyrix is going to take over the responsibility.
It's double Surge on both sides. Remember, anytime he gets that super, he'll soup up and improve his ability as a brawler. All 3 brawlers for Tribe are going to be grouped up over on the left side, but it's a much more widespread for SK Gaming. And wow, Tribe have really capitalized early on, taking that first kill despite having not been able to grab the star out the bat. SK Gaming really out of position for this starting salvo.
Yeah, Tom has now got his head first online, so if anyone steps out of line, he's going to be able to throw that at them. Semantic still getting towards that first charge of Surge, will have the advantage over Skyrix, as it's a race to power up. They're going to destroy some of the brush that SK Gaming are using by dropping over Sprout Super.
Yeah, SK seem to really be struggling to find a spot that gives them an opening against this Tribe Gaming squad. Firing a long-range rocket salvo, Akil gets no hits whatsoever, and both teams are playing very defensively, super cautiously, spread out across the entirety of this field now. Tribe Gaming taking up the entire left side, while SK Gaming over on the right are equally spread out.
Yeah, no significant damage being laid down by anyone yet. They're just keeping him at bay. But longer this goes on, Tribe Gaming are the ones with the advantage. 30 seconds going in. Semantic taking a rocket from a Cheel. We'll have to back out of this one and buy some time. Skyrix trying to find a way to get past Tom. It's just not happening, though.
And we're running low on time now, Tridd. These bounty maps very often go way into the late game with teams not playing aggressively until the last opportunity they have to. But wow, big hit from Skyrix taking down Tom. Can he retreat though? Getting real low. Semantic with the return fire takes the lead once again for Tribe, but he's out of position, zipping around the map as best he can. A kill and the reverse. Tribe Spin LC keeps in the lead 8-6, and that'll be it for the first game.
Yeah, even with that enhanced movement speed from the level 2 surge, he wasn't able to escape because Semantic was also at that stage as well, able to lock him down and get those advantages. We managed to get that second upgrade online right at the end, but it wasn't very useful because he immediately got deleted. As you know, if you're not familiar with Surge, if you're tuning in for the first time, Surge, once he dies, those stacks reset and it becomes a journey to use your super to power yourself back online again. So not getting the maximum value. The best we saw was some speedy boys, Woody. I'm hoping to see more from these guys.
Yeah, eye-popping power there from Semantic, but taken down at the end, it was just because he had gotten so many kills earlier on that Tribe were able to keep that advantage. But I gotta agree with you, getting those really high-level surges are what we expect to see from these top-level players, but it takes a long time to get them supercharged up like that. You gotta have a lot more action in the center, damage being dished out by both teams, jockeying for position if you want to get that max-level surge on the field.
Yeah, and while we're on Surge education, Woody, that max stack is so important, especially in Bounty, because once you hit that final level, your shots don't split into 2, they split into 6, and they go in different directions. So if we can get a max level Surge online, and you're trying to cluster and move as a unit, it becomes incredibly dangerous to do so because there's so much free damage being brought to the entire team rather than one individual.
Yeah, that super hexagon spreading the geometry madness all over, but it's a tall order to ask of these brawlers with so much skill on both sides of the map. Getting all the way up to max power is going to be super difficult, but it's another opportunity to see it happen. Skyrix and Semantic both bring it in Surge once again. Early lead for SK Gaming as they grab that early star, but are going to be in an awkward position now. YDE looping back around. Need to get behind enemy lines and up close and personal to get value out of Jackie.
Yeah, you're going to struggle to do that when all of the brawlers on the side of SK, on the side of Tribe, have an element of range to them. So how are you going to get a melee range brawler in there without taking a ton of damage remains to be seen.
Yeah, good question. Sniper supremacy on the side of Tribe Gaming. They've taken the right side of the map this time instead of left. It's going to be important for SK Gaming to get a few pop shots off, preferably against the middle brawler there. If they can hit Semantic a time or two, that'll give YDE a chance to move in against Tom, who doesn't work well at all close range, really needs to keep his distance. He got a few great bomb shots off, though, and that's going to force SK Gaming back up into their own spawn area, still with a 1-star lead with just this last minute remaining.
Yeah, also used the force the gadget.
Here's YDE.
Here's YDE. He goes in for Tom. The head first is there. Should be able to deal with it. Spen went incredibly low on the right-hand side as well. Rocket Rain. Oh, going to catch out Tribe. Semantic being caught. Skyrix going to upgrade. Whoa. He's got the movement speed. He's got the added damage. We're looking for the hexagon to seal the deal.
Tridd Commando dominating in game number 2. All of the stars on their side of the map, a 5-0 lead, and now a really crucial moment for Tribe Gaming to make this comeback happen. They gotta submit some sort of position here, but not against Skyrix, the man diving in deep to tear apart Tom. A chance for 4 stars here. The jump is no good, but he can't escape. Skyrix at max level obliterates Semantic.
He's using the gadget so well, Woody. He's using the teleport to get up into the face of members of Tribe where they cannot escape his damage, cannot dodge away. Upgrades himself to max. Skyrix putting the team on his back and equalizing Bounty.
What a performance. Take a look at this replay. We're watching Rocket Rain coming on out from Akile. The kill against Symantec, denying any access at all to Tribe. Even as Spin tried to make his way back in and get some return fire in there, he did not have any shot at making it happen. Great job there, especially to Skyrix. I think he's got to be the MVP from that last round.
Yeah, absolutely. Doing so much work for SK Gaming as we get ready to go into our final round of Bounty. And the Surge is starting to deliver, as expected. A dominant, game-changing brawler, finally left unbanned and is now wreaking havoc on Canal Grand.
Ultimate power from any Surge player. Whenever the bans are off, the gloves are off, and it's a chance now for the meta to truly evolve and display itself here with these pro players. So if you have unlocked Surge and you've been looking to make use of the brand new brawler, here is your chance to get a masterclass education on how to make that happen. Tribe Gaming and SK Gaming are now neck and neck, just as they are on the overall leaderboard. So shall they be in set number 1, tied 1-1. A little bit of an opportunity to swap out brawlers here. Would you expect to see any change, or are we going to see this once again playing out similarly to the past couple games, Tridd?
I think the Surge is definitely going to be a constant. In terms of what gets packaged with the Surge, I think we could see some differences at the moment. It appears as though Tribe are going for the double thrower with the Surge, and there's a lot of stock from SK being put into the Jackie. They might want a beefier unit to try and contest that. But I'm actually going to put Spen onto the Gene and bring a Mr. P instead. So different changes I did not expect to see. And SK Gaming are actually going to go for this double thrower flavor that was being played.
Yeah, Gene and Mr. P are a popular kind of mid-range combo. Would have worked pretty well if SK Gaming had brought Jackie back, but instead going for that double thrower approach. They're going to grab that star from the middle early on, and once again, SK Gaming will be in the lead for the start of this match, but not really a commanding one just yet. Little pop shots coming off from both teams, and Symantec is going to be forced to retreat as a few early hits from Sprout are going to find purchase on this Tribe Gaming side of the map.
Slows it down, just stagnating damage as we're running down the clock for the time being. SK Gaming have much better territorial control. They're able to come a lot further forward than that of Tribe, who are very splintered as well. Tom trying to find an off angle to break through this terrain, and I'm looking to see what kind of initiation can actually take place from either of these two teams.
Yeah, they're spread at such maximum distance. We're having trouble covering the entirety of the action on screen here. Such long-range hits require a lot of practice from pro players, even at the top level here. You see them doing their best to try to get the prediction move in there, and there it goes. Skyrix knocking down Tom will give Shoot Commando the 3-0 lead early on. SK Gaming holding court on the right side of this map and not letting any... What? I thought he was going to deny, but Tom actually made it back in, and that's going to tie up the series, Tridd.
Yeah, while that was going on, Symantec was able to go ahead and get in there and deal a lot of pressure, find his first upgrade, so he has that movement speed. The Porter hunting down a Geo. Thankfully, YDE tanked those last couple of shots, otherwise the star advantage would have gone towards Tribe Gaming. Woody's coming down to this. They've locked SK into a corner, and Spence looking for the pull. He's found YDE! That's enough for Symantec to get an upgrade. 10 seconds remaining, 2 stars between them.
Incredible pull by Spen. Wonderful job for Tribe Gaming here. Take the first hit, but they came back with a counter punch that knocked out SK Gaming. The first set going to the Tribe. Great job there on those brawler comp swaps. I think that the Gene Mr. P combo worked very well for them there, and expect to see a comeback maybe even in future sets as well.
Oh yeah, I absolutely agree with that assessment, Woody, but 1-0 lead for Tribe Gaming, keeping their dreams alive of finishing first in this monthly final, bagging the most amount of points and potentially keeping their world final aspirations still on the card. SK Gaming getting the majority of the kills that were available in that entire round, but the right ones just came through for Tribe at the right time.
Yeah, not often do you see a team get 5 more stars in the overall count, but still lose the set overall. SK Gaming really stacking up a lot of those stars in the second game and not able to get that spread in game number 1 or 3. But we're going to be moving on now. It's going to be a 1-0 lead for Tribe, launching on into Crossroads. This heist game mode is all about busting down the safe. Do you expect to see the sort of blitz style strategy that we'd seen in past sets, or is this going to be more of the tit for tat control approach on this map, Tridd?
I think it's I don't know about going for the blitz with this one. I think because there's a bunch of brawlers that are too powerful to ignore, such as Surge, that is going to dictate what's going to be played more than what we've seen in terms of a meta. Looking at what's on the board now, got the Carls, the Brocks to get range. Tom's immediately going to go down on this Max, so no value to be found there. I think we're just going to see the blitz come in from SK Gaming now they've got control, and they're just allowing YDE to get some kind of damage. Skyrix, knew that was going to happen, jumps over the wall and pinces in a member of Tribe, and now YDE gets a free rocket rain on the save for it, and the kill!
This is an extremely dangerous position for Tribe Gaming. SK have been able to set up over on the right side. YDE getting pop shots so many times. Easy artillery fire, raining down death and destruction on that save. Already at half hit points, and Tribe hasn't even gotten past the starting mark yet. Finally, Symantec breaking out, going to give a little bit more breathing room here for this Tribe Gaming team. But wow, this is really a big lead early on for SK Gaming.
These Surges are going to become secondary objectives, Woody. They need to be taken out. They're allowed to get too powerful. It's basically game over at that point as they're racing towards that final upgrade. Tom's going to use that supercharger there to just move them around faster, get them into cover. But there's no dent on the SK Gaming safe. They've had complete control of the map so far.
Big lead here, but a chance to pierce through these defenses. Symantec makes a mad dash, but it's not rewarded. Nice return fire from YDE will take him down and earn him a few more shots at the enemy safe. Look, the blue safe is taken a pummeling down into the teens now. The single digits. It's going down, Tridd.
It just absolutely dismantled them. And another thing that we didn't even raise, Woody, is that with Surge, once you get to that final level and you have more shots, you're able to take indirect damage against an enemy safe so much easier. Instead of having one stray shot hit it, you have empowered damage. You can have 2 or 3 depending on distance and location of the split to deal even more damage to that safe. And that's exactly what Skyrix did as soon as he got that final upgrade online.
Awesome job to SK Gaming, both on the short range with Skyrix there and the long range shots from YDE. I think that he's probably the low-key MVP from that last round, having gotten so much damage against the enemy safe by being able to pressure early on and keeping that DPS high using the incendiary star power. He's able to get hits not only on the safe, but then continue to trickle in additional damage afterwards there, playing as like the pitch hitter for both offense and defense. I think that Brock went really far that last game.
Absolutely, and getting a lot of value out of these brawlers is what's going to take to win out and obviously go over to the World Finals towards the end of the year. Game number 2 of Bounty. No, it's not a Bounty. We just had Bounties. Going over to Heist, coming on your screens right now. Looking for these adaptations and nothing really coming in here. Brocks, Carls, and Surges to be found, and it's the Mirror coming in for Tribe.
Yeah, a bit of an adaptation here for Tribe, and I think it was a good one at that. Spin LC having trouble keeping pace over on the left side there, though. Akile pushing him back, and it's going to force a teleport there from Symantec to help deal with that. Nice long-range blow, though, from Spin. It's going to keep them back in the pace here. Spin fires away at the safe, and it's going to get it down into the 80s. Early lead for Tribe Gaming, but can they hold on to it? YDE is doing just about as much damage on the other side. These Brocks have got to be stopped. So much long-range damage, and it's hard to deny them access. It's going to be up to Tom now to try to return fire as Carl over here on the right side, forcing back that Brock and giving Tribe Gaming a little bit of breathing room, but they're down overall in damage by 20%, Tridd.
Yeah, it's not looking good. Symantec's going to go aggressive onto Fachil, get that upgrade after teleporting. There's the final stack for Skyrix, and now he can enter into his own and get damage onto this safe. The Surges have been having such a great time on this map, Woody, because they've been able to teleport over this dividing wall.
Oh, wow, that Symantec hit is going to be hurting them for a long time. Tribe Gaming trying to defend, but a max level Skyrix has been firing away and is hard to push back. Another win out here on the left side for Shroot Commando as SK Gaming's charge into the bottom safe is looking great. 6 times damage coming out from that shot from Skyrix, and it is really starting to stack up on that safe now. Over twice as much damage dealt by SK Gaming, and they're continuing to apply even more pressure here. Symantec struggling just to get out of his own spawn zone. All right, they're going to continue defending here along the bottom as SK Gaming have kept the pressure up, taking them down into the single digits now. A few more rockets from YDE would be enough, and Brock would be able to knock him down. Can they get those last few shots on the safe? Skyrick's going to make a last charge in. There it is! Incendiary Ticks finish that thing off, and the safe has been burnt down. SK Gaming tie it up 1-1, and it's going to be an even set score going into the third round. Take a look at that replay now as you see shots going off from Brox on both sides, going for both brawler kills when they need it and dumping damage into the safe as soon as they possibly get a chance. Perfect range set up by Brox on either side, but advantage for SK as they found that opening much earlier on. The scoreline says everything you need to know there. So many more kills from SK Gaming in that last set relative to Tribe's performance. It was all about mid control and the long range shots and perfect aim from SK, giving them the win there to tie it up. We're doing our best to get a co-caster back on the line, but for now, it's just going to be me queuing up for set number 3. We've got under a minute for these players to pick out their next brawlers and get the action going. Let us know in Twitch chat which team you're cheering for, YouTube chat, Facebook chat, wherever you may be, because the fans are what drive these players forward and get them energized for the next round of action. Remember, if you want to be a competitor in the Brawl Stars Championship, there's still open qualifiers and a chance to make it to the very top. Find your team of 3 and try to get those wins in the in-game challenge. But with that, we're going to be hopping in now. The next one is already underway. It's going to be a gym grab map. Center control is what you've got to work hardest for here. Trying to get an early setup in that mid-range is very important. 2 Pams on the field right now, 1 for each team, and a Poco as well on the bottom side for Tribe. That's going to be a lot of healing and massive survivability advantage for the team that can keep those supers available and ready for use. SK Gaming continuing to charge up through the center here. A little bit of a gym advantage for them as Skyrick continues to power up, but it's YDE who's going to be carrying most of them at the back. Pam, a really great gym carrier for this map because of how many hit points she has, the long range and short range damage burst that she can push out, and that super, of course, which can get her topped off and healthy once again. It's going to be some sneaky action along the edges, though, as Sven and Tom do their best to hide in the bushes along the outer side, relying on that pinching opportunity to try to find SK Gaming out of position. Whitey's taking a lot of shots, but he's playing very smart here, not committing too hard to pushing into the interior, and he certainly doesn't have to. With such a big gem lead, there's no need to push too hard. Skyrick's grabbing another gem here and there where he can get the chance, but Whitey's finding a lot of trouble now. Lots of damage being dished out onto him, and that healing turret's not going to be enough to keep him topped off. Having to pull back, but trying to stay as best he can within that healing turret range for maximum effect. They only need to get 1 more gem, though, and that would be enough to start the countdown. It's coming in shortly. Can Sure Commando get this game off to a good start? They've done it. A kill against Aquila is going to get the gems that they needed. 14 on the side for the red squad up top, and that is going to get the countdown underway. Really difficult charge here for Tribe Gaming to try to get that ended. They would have to get a kill on either YDE or Skyrick, but they aren't even going for him at this point. Aquila up on the right side, providing that distraction that they needed and getting SK Gaming the lead for game number 1. Take a look at the replay now as you saw an early lead for SK Gaming cement as the match went on. We needed a really big push from Tribe in order to counteract that big advantage that YDE was able to generate in the early game. And without any big strike in there, it was just a snowball turning into an avalanche for SK Gaming, giving them the win that they were looking for, and looking to claim a lead now going into the second game of this third set. Down in set number 1, but not out by any means at all. Tribe Gaming, having picked up the win in the first match, are now struggling to keep pace against an SK Gaming squad looking to hold their spot on this leaderboard. Remember, these 2 teams are neck and neck within 10 points of each other, and the outcome of this match here and now could determine which team goes on to the World Finals and which team is going to be forced to sit from the sidelines. SK Gaming grabbing an early lead once again here as YDE makes a beeline right to the center of the arena and grabs 3 early gems. Spin LC is not going to let up pressure though. The only challenger for center control here as Tom and Semantic are doing their best along the outer edges to regain position, but can't get their hit point totals up. Finally, Semantic is able to get that super up and try to recharge his blast in the center, but really taking a lot of damage, unable to catch up so far, Tridd.
Yeah, and the healing stations are going to be in there to make sure everyone's reinvigorated. You see the surges are getting towards those upper limits of their power right now, particularly Spen, who's taking over the responsibility from Semantic to try and lay down this damage instead. And still, they're unable to crack YDE, who's walking forwards with the PAM, able to pick up the 7 gems and keep that significant lead that SK Gaming's got.
Doing their best to hold on to it, and they're doing a great job so far. SK Gaming not gonna overcommit at any point. YDE plays this so smart. He might be the best gem carrier in the match that in all the matches that we've seen so far today, applying a lot of pressure and staying hard in the middle when he knows he's got the advantage, but then pulling back and waiting for his teammates to help back him up when he knows he needs a little bit more oomph to make it back into the center. Spin LC gathering gems now, but still behind an SK Gaming squad. Even with the kill that they picked up right there, that's still going to be a lead for SK Gaming. They just need to make it back in and grab a couple more gems to get that countdown started.
Well, hopefully they can find that success that they need in this one, as they're going to be setting back up in the middle. 8 gems apiece right now, so it's coming down to the wire for these two teams. Does mean that they'll need to fight decisive win and to scoop up those gems. Otherwise, this is going to end up being stagnated by the spawn rate. They're going to go ahead and trade out their countdowns. That's going to be the first one coming in for SK Gaming. They need to control mid. Otherwise, they're going to give control over. That's what's coming in. Oh, it's not looking good. SK Gaming, if they can just find Spen, they will seal the deal. And they've done just enough. SK Gaming going to take set number 2.
The triple kill from SK Gaming, knocking down Tom Semantic and Spin LC one after another. The tic-tac-toe crossed off the map, and SK will move on with an advancement now, 2-1 advantage in this match overall. And Tribe have really got a comeback swinging in set number 4 to push back against an SK Gaming squad that seems to be making the best use of Surge so far today. Finally, having not been banned, a chance to make this new brawler come into action, and we have not been let down by their performance so far, Tridd.
Absolutely not, Woody. SK Gaming have wrestled control of the momentum of this series. They've had great use of a new released brawler that a lot of the players consider high value, high priority. So having that one sneak through has been absolutely great for them. Damage difference, quite negligible, but it's the kills where SK start to really accelerate forwards.
Yeah, anytime you can grab kills, especially in heist or gem grab, they're not going to go all the way to counting for the win, but they give you that control that you need to establish your position on the map, and very important when one kill could really make all the difference between grabbing that objective or losing control of the field. But let's move into set number 4 now. We're going to be playing in Backyard Bowl, a lot of open area in the middle of this map, so expect to see long-range brawlers coming to the fore, trying to establish supremacy to get early control of the ball and go in for the goal. But this map really speaks to me as being one that doesn't get decided until overtime. It's very difficult to get an early goal without a team wipe, and that rarely happens at high-level play. Brawlers typically going for the safe mode early on and hiding behind those boxes, just trying to push for field control rather than going hard in on the commit to make a goal happen. Yeah,
it just becomes that slow war of attrition, slowly gain the territory, and every time you get that man advantage, you convert it into territory until you get to that goal line where it can realistically become a goal. We saw earlier some teams using brawlers like Max to accelerate that fact and just go super ham at times, but for the most part, Woody, you're absolutely right. Brawl Ball does ironically become quite a slow game.
Slow to start, but it is definitely one of the games that can turn around and become a blitz of speed, especially because it's just one goal that separates you from victory and defeat. You know, in a heist game mode or a gem grab, you can kind of get a little bit of an edge here and there, dealing a few more points of damage or grabbing another gem here and there. But it really is a high pressure, high excitement moment when there's an opportunity to take that ball past the goal line. When a team commits to that sort of aggressive push, they often either get rewarded with that ultimate victory or are completely annihilated, wiped back, and have to play defense against a squad looking hard for revenge.
As expected, surges are on the field. The only difference between the compositions is there are Piper in favor of SK Gaming and it's the Mr. P for Tribe.
Yeah, I'm hoping that Mr. P can work out well here. He does have that handle with Kara's star power, so that's going to allow him to get a little additional bounces, even when that briefcase doesn't hit anything. Really crucial to keep long-range damage up against YDE, whose Pam has just been so dominant in Gym Grab and now in Brawl Ball. Kills on either side of the map as those two surges will trade into each other, but an advantage for SK Gaming. And with that Piper super are going to be able to knock down that first line of defense, an easy open shot at goal if they can get close enough now.
So that was quite an interesting interaction between both of these surges. They both managed to get their super online, died with super in possession, then triggered the upgrade as soon as they spawned just to not lose the power progression that they'd already started. So they're both going to start with this enhanced movement speed onto the right-hand side. But we're paying attention towards the mid right now as Achille getting a lot of attention from Tom and Semantic. The ball is just locked in this left-hand side, Woody, and no one's making any real progress with that.
Yeah, it's kind of the same story for the first minute of play as we've seen now for the second stage. Even though SK Gaming got a little bit of an early advantage being able to pop down those boxes, they haven't been able to leverage it at all yet, not getting ball possession and kind of having a lot of difficulty pushing into Semantic with that healing turret up, and Tom, lots of long-range damage and healing to top themselves back up even if they do take a shot. Nice job there to Piper. Akil being able to bust those boxes down means that healing station isn't going to be alive long, but with only 30 seconds until overtime, we're about to see this game play out much like others have just before it. Once those boxes come down, the field will open up and give a big advantage to whichever team can get those kills early on. It's looking like SK Gaming might be able to finish this off early.
They're not taking it to chance, Woody.
It's good!
They are not going to leave it to the chance of overtime. They got the aggression, so they're going to get that goal in and give themselves that early goal lead. Upgrades coming in for Skyrex, 2 low members of the team, but there's nothing that Tribe could do about it. Hang on a minute, Spence found that kill, shut down by YD. That'll seal the deal. SK Gaming take game number 1.
Excellent job to SK Gaming, now putting themselves in position for that match point. Just one more goal could be between them and World Finals qualification. These two teams have been competing for so many months now, jockeying for that spot at the top of the leaderboard, but SK Gaming seems to be the one dominant right now with the advantage on set score and with the last win on Brawl Ball. Tribe Gaming have got to be rallied right now. This is their last chance. Do SK Gaming fear the Tribe, or will fear be the only thing that they have to be afraid of?
I'm afraid of Surge. If you hadn't told by the amount of times I'm talking about this brawler, because it is so dominant right now. And yeah, I can only resonate what you said. This is World Finals qualification on the line. These two teams are in a race, and if SK Gaming takes the first victory here, it does not look good for Tribe. In terms of their qualification hopes, there are limited slots per region. It doesn't matter the relative strength of Europe to other regions. We're only sending 3. 3 of you will go through, and that is it. So you need to be in that top 3. Tribe currently aren't, SK stand in the way, and they're still blocking them to this day.
CODEMAGIC Purple, high and dry above these other teams, will definitely be able to qualify. And of course, we also know that Clash EU have gotten more points than either SK Gaming or Tribe Gaming. Even with a victory this month, they wouldn't be able to catch up to Clash. In later months, they would have a chance to advance on. But right now, the positioning for 3rd place is between SK Gaming and Tribe Gaming, and with only 3 qualification spots for Worlds, it's now or never for Tribe. Turn on the firepower and don't let up. Tom is going to be bringing in, who's that? Nani?
Nani? He's going to be here, ready to use it. Very powerful brawler. We'll have use of that super that will be able to hunt down the likes of Achille, more than likely, or maybe pick off Skyrex if he goes aggressive to get that upgrade on Surge. Ball's very stagnant. No one's touched it so far. Chill walks forward, tags the shot against Tom, and passes the ball into their court.
Tom's going to use that super long-range firepower dropped on that healing station. Big hits there, but not able to knock it quite down yet. 28 hit points separated from destruction. There it goes, out for the count. SK Gaming still trying their best to set up against a Tribe squad that has done a much better job this second game at keeping pace and holding the midfield there. Box is going down as soon as we can get a supercharged up, but it looks like Tribe is playing the long game right now, not making an aggressive stab in there. Akile trying to get that supercharged so that he can knock down some enemy boxes, but not finding an inroad to do so yet, Tridd.
If Tom gets this super online and one of his other teammates gets a super pass available, there are some really sneaky things you could do with the gadget for Nani and get him into these awkward positions where he's behind enemy lines with a pass that's bounced off a wall into safety. But the pressure coming in from SK is too big right now. They're unable to get anything done.
SK Gaming playing carefully, but keep in mind that the surges will get even stronger and stronger as the game progresses. Skyrix at a higher promotional level right now based on the damage he's been able to dish out, and that's going to be an opportunity for them to deliver the final blow. Nice hit there for Akile, able to knock those boxes down, but not quite as big of an opening as he might have been able to hope for. Still, it's going to be an advantage for SK Gaming as all three brawlers up on their side are fighting in against two from Tribe. Semantic goes down, and that's going to be another big opening for SK Gaming. Can they keep the pressure up, knock down all those boxes, but possession has been denied. Kicked back into the corner. Tribe Gaming will still barely survive a bit longer here. Tom's going to pop that super and deny access, and wow, what a great super that was. Another chance for SK Gaming to get the goal pass, or the ball past the goal line has been rejected, and we are once again at an even playing field.
Spen's going to go down. Skyrix has been sitting at max power on the surge for so long, and it's causing so many problems for the roster of Tribe Gaming.
Oh my God.
Trying to trade out a kill. Here comes the super from Nani. He's not going to find it. Healing station is there. Skyrix is boxing Tom into the spawn, and Spen's going to try and level up, but I don't know how long he can keep hold of this one. They're not letting Tribe escape, and if they get some kills, they're going to go on the offensive.
Nani is such an all-or-nothing brawler who can deal a ton of damage or whiff completely on those shots. He's doing well at keeping Skyrix at range, but Skyrix has done just as much to deny him the ability to get out past the goal line. Super coming out now from Nani, going to try to find a target. Blows up and misses. Defense for SK Gaming will hold on, and it's going to be their final charge in. The rampaging robots are sending the damage pass. Akile takes the shot, misses. Semantic sends it back. Kicks it in. SK Gaming win the match.
They just sat outside there. The damage from Skyrix was too strong. He's able to burn through the respawns faster than they can come in, Woody. And SK Gaming are able to come back and win the match with a 3-1 scoreline.
The match of the day when everything counted. SK Gaming would not be denied that epic win. Tribe Gaming playing so valiantly, picking up a fantastic match victory early on against CODEMAGIC, but unable to keep that momentum carried into this second match. We once again have an interesting spot here where it's a potential for that three-way tie if we have a CODEMAGIC win against SK Gaming in the match to follow. But let's pick it off with Falcone, who's ready to queue up the next one.
In what is probably the most important result of the entire year of Brawl Stars Esports so far, SK Gaming have taken down Tribe. Our MVP for this match is going to be Skyrix, who played, who'd have thought, Surge every single game. And I think Tridd worded this the most nicely right at the beginning when he said, putting the team on his back. Skyrix annihilated the opposition in Bounty. He was able to continue that going in Heist by taking down the enemy Surge several times, suppressing that Surge's level, and guaranteeing SKG had the strongest team at all times. In Gem Grab, he continued to dominate with Surge. The advantage that you get when you're Surge level 4 and the other team Surge is stuck at level 1 is disgusting. And then, even in Brawl Ball, where your Surge resets between each goal, Skyrix was still able to dominate using Surge's sheer range and splash damage. Surge is very powerful, but even more powerful right now. SK Gaming sitting on a 1-0 score. And now this is where things get really interesting, because if SK Gaming take down CODEMAGIC Purple, they get so many points today, and so despite not qualifying for the next monthly finals, they are in with a reasonable shot at hitting Worlds, as opposed to Tribe, who, if they did win this, they were looking really, really good, but now they're going to have a lot of work to do over the next couple months. We got CODEMAGIC Purple, we got SK Gaming coming up, Curse, Jeton, Twisted Tricks, and Bentley, YDE, Skyrix, and Achille for SK Gaming. This is another important match for SK Gaming. If they can keep the momentum going, they're in a fantastic spot when it comes to points for Worlds. Of course, though, when it comes to points for Worlds, CODEMAGIC Purple have already done it. They have guaranteed themselves a spot at the Global Finals. They're able to mostly take it easy. They don't have a huge amount of pressure. The same amount that the other teams do, at least. However, they are still competing for a lot of prize money, and they're also competing for honor and for tournament integrity. So I think it's safe to say that SK have got a major challenge coming up in the next match. But let's talk about SK. Again, this is one of their final chances to make a stand. They will not be competing in the September monthly finals, so today's score really counts. They're already 1-0, they've already taken down Tribe. Can they keep this momentum going? Maybe it's not so much of a big deal for Ulysses, though, who claimed that he has no plans for what to do with his prize money if he wins. That's either a lack of confidence or a lack of planning. I'm gonna go with a lack of planning. Let's put their confidence to the test in the final match of the day.
Thank you very much, Falcone. And now it is all to play for. SK Gaming, it seems today, have had a fantastic start so far, and they've got to continue this into their onslaught on CODEMAGIC Purple. But we're not going to be seeing Surge. He is off the cards, as is Gale. What do you make of that, Woody?
I think CODEMAGIC Purple learned what happens when SK Gaming has access to Surge, and they did not want to see that same result happen to them. Resounding cheers throughout the SK Gaming house as they pick up that victory in match number 2 within this region, and are looking to echo back-to-back victories against CODEMAGIC Purple and really claim the leading position within Europe. As we mentioned already, CODEMAGIC Purple have already qualified for World Finals, but there's still the question as to which team is going to be up at the top and making their way for Worlds as the dominant team in the region. Clearly, CODEMAGIC Purple have got a lot riding on this match if they want to stay in the lead.
Yeah, and you say cheers in the SK Gaming house, quite literally in the SK Gaming house. The players have flown out to be together again this month round to compete alongside each other physically. So I guess that is giving them a great advantage in terms of their morale and their communication. And we're seeing that today so far. The question now is it going to continue up against the might of CODEMAGIC Purple?
Yeah, you know, anyone can enter into these competitions, but it's the teams that are willing to commit the most to practice, to sticking together, to keeping that high level of communication amongst all of them that are going to emerge with the bigger advantage going through these games. So far, that's been SK Gaming delivering an awesome performance in the early stage of that match, and starting off with a decent lead here early on, slipping up to CODEMAGIC Purple a little bit here as Jeton has been able to reclaim control of the center. It's still a neck-and-neck match, but as those plants grow out on the right side, YDE is going to be even better positioned to defend and deny access to Cursed.
Yeah, Wiley's doing a great job on that right-hand side, very well pointed out, of just exploring with that gadget the entirety of this map. Wiley's able to move so freely here. The only thing to his disadvantage are those pesky porters there that are going to be seeking him out. Jeton's super will be looking to reveal Wiley as much as possible, and it does seem like the pressure is on now, and CODEMAGIC Purple have lost control of the mid, and Skyrix still on 9 gems now. SK getting very close to countdown here.
Poor Cursed walked right into a Rosa who souped up and wiped him off of the planet. Skyrix with 10 gems down has got that countdown started, and it looks like YDE's defense out on the right side is a brick wall, unable to penetrate past. SK Gaming have got this game in the bag.
A solid start. I really like the comp. I keep saying that Rose is so viable, and we haven't seen that much of her, to be completely honest, but they see why it can be so strong when you can just kind of put yourself into a corner and just be healing all the while whilst remaining invisible. I think she's a really underrated brawler right now, but yeah, SK Gaming showing us how it's done.
Flower Power hiding deep in the weeds and keeping those bushes up as best she can to get additional coverage. Carl doesn't work too well in a short-range combat against Rosa. In fact, very few brawlers work well against Rosa in the short range, so great job. They are keeping control of the right side of the map. I think that's where most of the action wound up playing out, and even with those robo borders ticking in unrelentingly against that Rosa, she was still able to keep control and deny access to the enemy team. So great job, SK Gaming, off that first game. Do you expect to see any brawler comp switches here going into game number 2, Ark?
This is the thing. At the moment, it depends on how CODEMAGIC Purple see this, because if Frank could demolish all of those bushes and the cover on those corners of the middle area as well, and we know that Jetton is actually a very accomplished Frank. He was one of the first, he was actually, I'll quote myself, the first Frank to 1,000 trophies in the world, because I helped him push to it. So it's like, he's very good at those sort of brawlers which kind of get close and personal. So whether he'll go against the meta a little bit here, we'll have to wait and see. But I think it might prove to be daring in this circumstance to kind of shut down Whitey. But Whitey could change brawler altogether, and it looks like he has done just that.
Yeah, switching out to Pam. We saw him play Pam so many times in the last match, and it worked really well for him. Playing for field control works really well with so many hit points and a super that can keep you juiced up and ready to go. Competing in this middle range, it looks like they're going to get an additional kill here. Jetton going down, and an aggressive play from Sun Bentley is going to be rewarded here. Grabs a couple of gems, but he's got a Robo Porter wailing away at him, needs some more support, and that's going to be up to Jetton to move in to get that help in.
I gotta say, I do like the bow pick here, though, because having that additional ability to not just only destroy bushes, you know, SK have gone with the Tara approach to basically reveal brawlers with that gadget that are lying within the bushes. Jetton's going straight with an area of damage from those mines, which will actually penetrate the walls as well as the bushes. And that, again, that tripwire gadget that's new to the game, so fresh in our minds, can be popped at any moment, destroying all mines simultaneously. So I really like this bow pick, I've got to say.
And great strafing by Jetton as well, ensuring that all 3 of those hits land every single chance he gets. Super crucial to maximize your damage as Bo, to be moving in the right direction as those shots go off. But still, SK Gaming have been able to keep the pressure up against the CODEMAGIC squad, that even when the things all seem to go right for them, they haven't been able to pick up ahead. Finally, Curse gets an epic super off that will tie things up, but even with that big swing in favor back toward CODEMAGIC Purple, it's not a decisive lead for them by any means.
Yeah, Curse getting gems is very relevant here, but the gems are split between both him and Sun, and at the moment, Ashiel is looking to get his super back, and once he has that super, like now, it's going to put a lot of pressure on CODEMAGIC Purple and where they go on the map, because Ashiel can lock down the center now. He can really just bend CODEMAGIC Purple to his will here, and that's why we're seeing Sun having to go behind to try to get something that he's going to go down.
Oh, nasty!
Dropping gems is devastating, and SK Gaming will capitalize.
It seemed like there was some miscommunication among CODEMAGIC. We saw a really daring dive there from Sun Bentley, but without any backup from either of his 2 teammates, there was very little chance for that to work off. The countdown continues, and all 10 gems still firmly in the grasp of Skyrix. That's going to be an advantage for SK Gaming through game number 2 and taking the first set.
Yeah, and for me, that was a lot down to Ashiel. I think Ashiel, I've got to say as well, has been playing fantastically well in qualifiers. He is at the top of his game right now, and having that super, but not actually needing to use it, kind of encouraged that move and that kind of like odd brawler placement from CODEMAGIC Purple. And yeah, Sun got called out in that spawn side, and what a great start for SK Gaming.
Excellent job. Really bodes well for them going into the second set of this match. I wonder what is going on with CODEMAGIC Purple this month, a team that's been at the top of the leaderboard for a long time, but seems to have not been able to adapt to recent changes in the meta, or are they just not as practicing as much as these other squads? What's going on here?
The teams are definitely practicing. I know that Curse has been playing a lot of ladder with Tribe, with Spen from Tribe. Super Stadium up next, Brawl Ball. So it'll be interesting to see how these teams do here. For me, you know, I think it comes down to different teams respond differently to pressure. Like, pressure can do odd things. It can kind of actually make you rise to the occasion. That adrenaline rush and that additional, what's at stake can come into play. And I feel like because CODEMAGIC Purple have qualified now, it's kind of like they haven't really got that, which seems to have been their friend throughout this entire tournament, and that might be the thing today, which gives SK Gaming a chance to really kind of rise and prove themselves, as at the moment they've got a bit of a battle on their hands. It's a bit uphill, but this is a great start for them. This could be actually the start of them being able to secure really their place in the final three.
That's a good point, I guess. You know, heavy hangs the crown, and the sword of Damocles hanging above CODEMAGIC Purple has really given them a lot to think about. And instead of focusing on the game, they're focused on that. And what has happened already? Skyrix from SK Gaming has just drilled past the last line of defense and found an optimal angle for the first goal.
As quickly as that, we're seeing now a very different result. And a quick pass, which is surely a walk in here. There's not really anything that CODEMAGIC Purple can do. And as quick as the first set is decided, the first game of Brawl Ball is decided.
Not even a minute of overall gameplay, and already 2 goals sit past the line. Skyrix and Akil just dominating the competition. Really low hit point brawlers selected by CODEMAGIC Purple, and that gave an easy entry point for SK Gaming. The sponge of Frank just soaking all those shots as he walks straight past this Max and delivers the second goal, only seconds after the first.
Yeah, I've got to say, like, we do see this often. When a Frank comes to the table, it's always a bit of a kind of a shock brawler pick. And often, I would say, if you looked at the stats, and I could be completely wrong, but from my eyes, it seems like every time a Frank just kind of comes up out of nowhere, there's a win. And then the next round, the Frank kind of disappears, but the win obviously remains, and like everything kind of goes back to normal after that. So an interesting start. Whether we'll see Frank appear again, I'm not so sure.
That's what I love most about Brawl Stars. There's so many different brawlers to choose from that if you get complacent with one certain plan of attack, your opponents can really throw a wrench in that and in very short order surprise you, even with a relatively low pick rate and even a low win rate brawler. Someone like Mortis that we didn't see at all, and then he went on a massive tear with like 7 wins in a row before finally kind of equalizing again. We see the similar sort of move here now with Frank, a really high hit point brawler who stays up so long, taking shots after shots and giving a great opportunity for the rest of the team to kind of tank those blows and continue fighting. We're going to actually see Cursed saying, you know what, let's fight fire with fire. I'm sitting in Frank as well.
Yeah, I love to see it. Frank versus Frank, and it's now it's actually CODEMAGIC Purple almost had a good opportunity there in the knockback. That's so important to deflate that push. She'll go, it doesn't quite connect. But now Skyrix with a heal. Surely now nothing Sun can do. Tickling the Primo as Skyrix walks in the goal.
Primo, as we've seen before, is a bit of an unconventional pick, but when you have so many tanky brawlers and you need someone who can stay up long enough and dish out a maximum amount of short-range melee damage, Primo can be the perfect option to go for here. Akil is struggling to get those supers to land on Sun Bentley and Jetton, who are doing an excellent job jockeying around the map, but a goal early for SK Gaming means that they just have to play defense if they really want to for the rest of the match.
It's a pretty solid pinch at the moment. CODEMAGIC Purple looking to try and make something of this opportunity, but Skyrix does have super, and we've seen Semantic already playing Primo so effectively cycling today, and now Skyrix is doing exactly the same thing. Shut down finally by Jetton, but what can happen from this with Curse being so low, and now Sun alone, I think, yeah, Sun's not going to be able to do much here.
It seemed like he was kind of split. At first, he wanted to go for the goal, trying to grab that ball from the corner, but then realized that both of the enemies would die with just a couple of shots. And with long-range damage that spreads out so far, Poco is great at dealing those final blows. but because he was a little bit indecisive early on, he missed out on the chance to either take the shot or get the kill and was forced back. Defense now for SK Gaming as they continue to try to keep this CODEMAGIC team off, but will he be able to do it? Jetton goes for the pass, sends it past, there it is! The equalizer for CODEMAGIC Purple.
Finally able to make something of it, and that is a good time to do it. 30 seconds. Let's go for a shot. Oh! Straight off the middle line. What a distance to score from CODEMAGIC Purple.
The long bomb with back-to-back goals. SK Gaming made a strategic error there by playing defense instead of just playing to their advantage, pushing in hard and heavy against a CODEMAGIC Purple team that seemed to just be out of position when they needed it most. But with that opportunity to strike and without any fear of reprisal, CODEMAGIC Purple with impunity charge into the action and get those 2 goals back-to-back. A well-deserved comeback from a squad that seems to be shaken but not stirred.
Yeah, absolutely could not have put it better. I've got to say, I do love those moments where one teammate just spots an opportunity and just kind of like, you know, it's that slight moment where the opposition just dropped the ball, no pun intended, and, you know, and what a great moment for CODEMAGIC Purple to come back now in this series of Brawl Ball. And now I'm kind of curious as to what's going to happen with the brawler picks, because we started with Frank, then we matched the Frank, and now we're just going to see no Frank.
Yeah, I'm not sure either. I thought that the El Primo pick by SK Gaming there was the perfect counter in expectation of a really heavy tank from their opponents, but it didn't work out. When the rubber meets the road, even with a good pick, it might not be enough to claim victory if your opponents can outplay you on the field. I think CODEMAGIC Purple certainly outplayed SK Gaming there. It wasn't necessarily a comp pick that went in their favor. I think SK Gaming actually had the better comp that last round, and it showed with the first goal that they were able to score. But that can all change in a very short amount of time, just the same way SK Gaming got the victory in the game 1 with 2 goals in like 30 seconds. I think CODEMAGIC Purple took that same game plan and made it happen. So it's all going to come down to game number 3 starting right now, the tiebreaker for the second set.
Yeah, the Franks are not going anywhere. The Jackies are not going anywhere. The Pokos are not going anywhere. Mirror comp alert. It's going to be the Slambulance and an identical Slambulance for both of these teams now. Why though? I guess the Super Sun low. Actually, CODEMAGIC Purple needs to be a bit cautious here. Jason going to make the first move. Gets the ball. Hailful Sun. Can he make it? Oh! Almost a tiny slip there. And now SK Gaming will be much on the retreat.
SK Gaming should not even be alive right now. That was all thanks to a misclick from Jet not getting that aim perfectly the way he needed it. That could have easily been a goal, but as it stands, SK Gaming are still in the action, juking it out in the center for ultimate control, and they've done it. A double kill there, and as those Frank Supers go off, it's a chance for SK Gaming to score. All down for the count. There's no defense whatsoever for CODEMAGIC Purple, and SK get the first goal.
Yeah, a nice pass to the wall there from Skyrax to get that takedown. And now this is a great position. Cursed with a very good observation with the gadget used there to cancel out the stun. But the ball is cleared by SK Gaming. And now Sun is being hunted down by all 3 members of SK Gaming who smell blood.
It's Solar Eclipse for Sun Bentley, just absolutely denied access into the bottom of that enemy base. So many shots coming off from SK and delivering the final goal for this game. They're going to grab the 2-0 set advantage now. That third game went exactly as planned for SK, much like the first, in smashing success in very short order, picking up a 2-0 against a CODEMAGIC Purple team that were just collapsing, buckling in on themselves with so much splash damage dished out by Poco and Frank.
SK Gaming seem unstoppable at this moment. I've got to say, it's been a while really since I can recall it being just an all-round fantastic day for SK Gaming. They've been consistent with the points nonetheless, but to have just a wipe of a day has been a while, and it seems to be the day, and what a time to bring it to the competition. 17 kills in that game to only 4 from CODEMAGIC Purple, and this now is, I don't know, is it all over already, Woody? I don't know.
Not quite yet, but Very nearly. Yeah, I think that the most interesting fact with that stat line that you just saw was that CODEMAGIC Purple and SK Gaming were very, very close on overall damage dealt to enemy brawlers, but SK Gaming had something like triple the number of kills, showing that they can reposition and play defensively when they need to. Take a hit and keep on swinging, especially with those high hit point brawlers like Frank, playing to their advantage and not afraid to take a few hits on the chin when they need to do so. But going in now, the next game mode is going to be Siege Ark.
Yeah, Siege Olive Branch, kind of more unusual, more kind of constricted Siege map, and we are going to see a slight difference in comp. Skyrex going to go with BB, which I like. It's very aggressive, has that additional speed to the advantage there, but I do like the double throw from CODEMAGIC Purple. I think they might have the advantage here when it comes to comp. They can continue to outplay Skyrex on that lane side.
Deep dive there by CODEMAGIC Purple along the right edge, doing their best to hold that position there. Akile finally getting healed up thanks to YDE's healing station there, and Cursed dropped into a corner, had no way to return fire against a double team move set up as a pincer to try to make the comeback happen on this Bolt score. It's a big lead for CODEMAGIC Purple, looking very clearly to get this second spot, or I guess, Brad, you call it the first one since the first was actually a tie. The Siege coming in short order is going to definitely be for CODEMAGIC, so it's defensive opportunity now for SK Gaming to try to hold on to these bolts and come back swinging for the last round.
Yeah, I've got to say, I really like a lot of the CODEMAGIC plays there, blocking down those lanes that someone's doing so spectacularly well as Sprout. And now the question is, can SK Gaming defend this spot and defend it well? Because if they can, then they've already got 9 in the bag. I'm pretty sure they don't even have to bank a single bolt to secure the round, but they're going to want that level 10. And I think it's a pretty good defense, Woody. Only 30% damage is a really, really bad round for CODEMAGIC Purple.
Yeah, that is going to be a lot less than CODEMAGIC Purple expected. And with the fact that SK Gaming can commit all into the dive on this last Siege, you got to expect that they can get at least 30% off that enemy save. CODEMAGIC Purple in a really tricky spot now, doing their best to deny even more bolts, but that is going to be a monster of a Siege bot coming on in for SK Gaming. And with even just a little piddling bit of support, they are almost guaranteed to be able to wipe this safe off the map. Let's see how it plays out.
Yeah, Skyrex staying alive there. I thought he was in a bit of trouble on the left-hand side. He did stay alive. That's going to be so important here. The question is, though, with this amount of the distraction of the bot, is it going to... The time is ticking, and the bot is distracted, but why are they going in with damage here? It should just be enough!
Oh, it is enough! It past that last line of defense. Jetton putting up a heroic last stand. Support from Sun Bentley dropping those blockers in and trying to keep that Siege bot off as long as humanly possible. But ultimately, in the end, offense beats defense, and Jetton can't keep the Siege bot off with damage piling in from YDE as well. The safe goes below that crucial 70% mark and gives SK Gaming a shot at match victory, a match point here and now with this 2-0 set lead over CODEMAGIC Purple and looking to clinch it with an absolute sweep.
This is honestly a huge moment for SK Gaming, especially coming from the qualifiers that we just had 2 weeks ago, and SK Gaming not qualifying for next month. They needed to leave today on the maximum points possible, and now only one game of Siege potentially stands in the way of that. This is going to change the entirety of the EU leaderboards. From a victory here, everything will change from today onwards.
We are on the match point for potentially the last match today, so I want to thank all the viewers who are tuned in to watch these awesome players compete. Big shout out to Supercell and ESL for doing their best to keep this awesome production right on schedule, even during the pandemic. So huge thanks to all of them for having us back on. It's a great pleasure to be able to cast alongside such talented guys as you, Ark, Falcone, and Tridd as well. So really ready for this last bit of action to get going. Remember, we've got another awesome day of the Brawl Stars Championship 2020 coming back at you tomorrow. So mark your calendars and get ready for some more explosive excitement. Follow Brawl Stars over on social media through Instagram and Twitter, and you can keep appraised of all the upcoming news and great things to come as we hop into what could be our last game of today with the match point opportunity for SK Gaming.
Couldn't have said it better myself, Woody. And now, do you know what I feel? I feel like I want a sweep to happen. And then for you you to repeat that in about an hour's time from now. But it does seem to be SK's day so far, but they have still got to get this match in the bag. And the first push is going to come from CODEMAGIC Purple. Not too many bolts really banked, just, well, actually 3 for the next round could prove a difference, but it does look to be a pretty comfortable takedown so far for SK Gaming, but the control now is going to be very much dominated by CODEMAGIC Purple.
Yeah, a siege bot early on here, but doesn't even get a single hit off against the Ike. You can say that was a successful defense for SK Gaming, and with the Bolt lead here, they've got to be happy about how that early stage went. A nice setup from Jettin with that healing station right there in the middle of the whole court in the center of this map. Going to get them another couple of bolts and try to keep head over SK Gaming, but with that first siege bot kind of whiffing, I'm wondering what they can do to get back in the action.
Well, this is a chance for SK Gaming to get a pretty good push. I mean, level 6, and if they can just maintain the control here, only 6 in the bag for CODEMAGIC Purple from this round. As SkyRex with a double swipe there. A fantastic play, and a ball to double up on the money. You'll be over here with a bit of damage. My goodness me.
What an excellent play from Skyrex, and taking the Ike all the way down to 28%. CODEMAGIC Purple have been shaken and destroyed with that second siege. 15 seconds separate them from ultimate defeat as SK Gaming are doing their best to get that bolt score back up. Jettin competing against YDE in the middle, but can't get that bolt to spawn. YDE doing his best to hold on for dear life, just needs to defend a bit longer and grab a few more bolts. It's a tied score right now, 7-7, and that is going to be victory for SK Gaming. No siege means the advantage goes to the team already in the lead, and it would be an epic uphill climb from CODEMAGIC Purple to make it back in at this point.
Yeah, there's nothing that's going to change the results today. SK Gaming have had a fantastic day. Smashing Tribe and smashing CODEMAGIC Purple means that they will undoubtedly be celebrating over at the SK Gaming house, as this is going to erupt the Europe leaderboard.
Certainly going to shake things up, and a parade of excitement for SK Gaming fans who might have been a bit worried about whether or not that position on the leaderboard was defensible. In third place and only 10 points ahead of Tribe, but with a massive win now here in the European region, they have finally found a breathing room that they've so desperately searched for, moving up and now challenging Clash for that number 2 spot in the region. It's going to be a great evening for SK Gaming. Time to break out the celebration.
Yeah, absolutely. I think Tribe out of this, though, is going to be said they can still, if the points sway in their favor, bring this out the bag. But let's head over now to Falcone to wrap up the day.
Well, I don't know if this was the result that anyone was expecting, but SK Gaming just demolished the competition today. For the final match, we are going to name Achille as our MVP. And yeah, there's a lot here to go through. In Gem Grab, he played beautifully as Tara. There was that game, and Ark talked about this, he conserved the super, forcing the other team to play around it, not even needing to use it. But just the threat of it being there was plenty. With Frank in Brawl Ball, he was able to brute force that ball into the goal, and then honestly hit super after super after super just to stop the enemy team completely in his tracks. And then finally, as Sprout in Siege, he did the thing the throwers have been doing. We've seen it from Barley, we see it a lot from Sprout, just closing every opening, preventing the other team from getting through any of the gaps, from getting anywhere near any of the bolts, and securing the victory, especially with Sprout's long range that can do a lot of damage itself to the Ike. But there you have it, our final results for this group. SK Gaming came out on top. They have not qualified next month, but they have gained so many points for the leaderboard today. They are really now in with a shot of getting to Globals. Tribe are going to have to work particularly hard over the next 2 months if they want any chance of being the team that joined CODEMAGIC Purple. But even better for SK today is the prize money. They're taking home $9,000, which is an amazing prize, extremely well deserved. These have been some real nail-biting games. They've mattered so much in the grand scheme of things for the whole year round. And yeah, we've definitely been rewarded with some juicy games. But here's the leaderboard now. SK Gaming sitting in 3rd place. They are just behind Clash EU. Obviously, Clash EU were not here today, and SK are taking next month off, so their October monthly finals are going to be make or break for SK Gaming. We're going to be seeing Tribe again next month, so Tribe have got a chance, if they win there, to pick things up a little bit and close the gap. But the competition really is heating up in this region for the Brawl Stars monthly finals. Tomorrow, though, we move on to LATAM South and North America and LATAM North. We have Black Lions, we have INTZ, we have B4, Omen Elite, Cosmos, and Tempo Storm, all fighting for their spots for the global finals. Things are going to kick off tomorrow right here at 4 p.m. CEST. So make sure you're subscribed so that you never miss a Brawl Stars broadcast. But I just want to thank you one more time for watching. I hope you've enjoyed the show as much as we've enjoyed putting it on for you. From the production team, from Woody, from Ark, from Tridd, and from myself, we wish you an amazing day, and we'll see you tomorrow.